Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Maddog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 314 of Gigi's The Mouthful Podcast.
Again with the welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, guys.
Are we always gonna use the same intro? Shouldn't we be spicing things up, make something different? You know,
we could, but then it won't roll off the tongue. You know?
This is what I've memorized to do for over 300 episodes.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up, you stupid little co-host that know nothing. Get back on your chair, strap yourself in again, and let's do this the right way from the top. I say welcome back, guys, and you're supposed to say GG!
All right. That was the long way of getting around to it. I love it. How are you, sir? How are you? How has been your week? How are you doing?
My week has been great. And everything has been pretty good. I have been not doing much, I'm playing the one game that's gonna sound weird that I'm gonna talk about. But a few things to say. And watching some interesting shows, I will say. Cool. Or at least the one. I saw the other one, but it doesn't bear me. I'm not even going to bring it up because it wasn't even my show. It was my wife's show. So who cares?
Wow.
but yeah, man. It's been a week. It's been the week.
It has been, sir. I agree 100%. It has been a week, but it's good to be back here on Friday.
Yes,
podcasting sir.
The best part of it is waking up in the morning and knowing that you just have to be a zombie for 8 or 9 hours of your day, because when it is over, we're just going to be talking about games, chewing the fat, just relaxing. You're probably going to be having a beer. I have no liquor here right now, unfortunately.
Well, I have to, count points and all.
I should say.
I'm going with vodka because apparently this, it's.
Oh, shit.
As far as I'm concerned.
That's how the week was. I need hard liquor.
I need the good stuff. I need the stuff that gets into the blood faster. Yes. Does the job quicker.
Oh, that's how we're playing it then. Well, shit. Okay, well, I forgot to buy some cocaine then.
Whoa. Talk about an upper. Wow. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, first off, please, I need you to go to goodgame.rocks. That takes you, of course, right to our Facebook group. And, of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do on said podcast is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, which are scarce nowadays. And then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. And this week's hot topic, death of creativity.
Holy crap. That was harsh.
Times are rough in the creative market for video games. No. I that's really one of those hot takes. If you really don't. But
what were the other titles that we were considering?
Oh my God, yeah, the ones the nightly news. Are games, are creative games dying and killing your kids' creativity? Yes. Tune in at 8 to hear.
Tune in at 8. Sequels might be killing your kids.
Oh my God, yeah. That was, yes, those were the original. Obviously, they're meant to get your attention. But realistically, though, there is a movement within major game companies. Obviously, the indie market is going to be the indie market. They're going to do what indie markets do, and that is bring all the ideas that they don't really bubble to the top. Yes. But the big players seem to just kind of be in the same boat, re-releasing the same stuff and remaking this and maybe doing a soft reboot here or something. And really, we're just really getting a lot of the same games and stories. And it makes you wonder if if the big players are just not taking chances. Something that's happening a lot in movies right now as well. And that's, I'll probably go a little more into that in what I've been doing.
I offer you a hot take title. You ready?
Uh-oh.
It is death to creativity. Are we at fault?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The money talks, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would agree with that. That obviously the mass market is what the players are trying to cater to, and if the mass market wants to buy Call of Duty every year, you know what I mean, and make that the number one selling game, well, everyone's going to try to make a Call of Duty to kind of compete and share with that pie.
They're going to feel very sorry because this year Elden Ring took that title. Yes.
I honestly, I am curious because this year we will be seeing another Call of Duty, which is actually which is another remake because it's Modern Warfare 2. You remember that game from 10 years ago? Right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, that'll come out, and I am curious to see how it stands up. You know what I mean? One with Elden Ring, and two, how it just stands up in general. The last Call of Duty is not a failure by any means at all, but it did undersell expectations. It still sold really well compared. It's still the number one selling game, but it was definitely down. And so I'm curious to see what happens.
I think Elden Ring passed the path. It was that, or maybe it was so far in sale, or this month. I think so far Vanguard has been number 2 to Elden Ring. That was no joke.
Oh, on the current charts, yes, definitely.
Right,
I would definitely say. I'm just saying overall.
In general,
overall,
of course.
Lifetime sales, essentially. Curious to see how it does end up, but we'll see. But that's the whole deal. That's what the topic is. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Some upcoming projects that are remakes that I'm like, here we go again with this one. You know what I mean? And, but anyway. We'll get into that later on the show. So let's go ahead and start with what we always start with. And that, of course, is what we have been up to. Mr. Dream Twister.
Yes, sir.
What's been going on in the Twister camp?
I have only been playing a couple of games this week. One of them is kind of expected, and the other one is kind of surprising that I just went back to it.
You still playing Deathloop?
I am playing Deathloop, yes. I'm playing Deathloop. Might as well just start with that one then.
Which one was that one? The one that's surprising, or the one you went back to?
No, that's the expect. Yeah, because I think I mentioned it last week that I was like, "What the hell am I doing playing this?" Like
1 week later, you're still asking. Well, I guess something's to be said there, right? Because if it was boring in any way, you would be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm done.
It's the best. It's the best worst game. I would say.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Deathloop. I'm already convinced that I'm not gonna get the payoff that I'm thinking, that I'm hoping, that I'm that I expect in this type of games where it starts very mysterious and you kind of want to know what's going on because you like the idea of the world. You like the design. I'm not in love with the art design particularly, but I do like the setting. You know, it taking in the 1960s.
Like late 60s type of very disco. Yeah, like
very groovy. Very yes. I do like that a lot. And to be honest, the characters have the only two characters that matter as I've been growing on me, which is Cole Vance and Juliana Blake. And their interaction, like I already got to the point in the game where I discovered a big reveal about it, although it's just handed to you in most nonchalant kind of way. And that is if the game is not trying to play with my expectations and spring something else that is actually the reveal. So far, I don't think I'm not expecting that. But I need to know what the hell is going on with this loop. I need to know because, well, I can't say the reason because going into it will be spoiling, parts of the game, and even though it's not like a fantastic game, I'm not gonna say like, oh, everybody should play. If you could grab it on a sale, and you might have some fun with it. They just released a patch for it like 2 days ago
on everything.
On everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and the patch addresses, supposedly some performance. They added a ton of accessibility features. They also added things that I was gonna make a joke of. I was gonna make a joke to you, Maddog, asking if, so is this game bad now? But I was afraid that you were gonna reply, no, this game was always bad, which was they give you the option of adding how many reprices you have. You can fucking contra your way on it, like if you want to. Like it doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, you could actually change the. There's a lot, dude. I'm telling you. They were like, I was wondering, it's been a while since we got a patch to this, and I was like, is this game not gonna be supported anymore? I mean, the Xbox version hasn't come out, and we all know that's gonna happen sometime this year. Like, is this it? Like, what's going on? And no, dude, I don't know. I mean, you know that Microsoft is kind of big on that aspect of, making sure games are accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. So I don't know if that might have been like a mandate from upstairs or anything, but yeah, they added a lot of things, color blindness, like a bunch of
I get
features.
those things. Those things. I'm always going to be supportive of those type of things for, obviously for difficulty seeing and stuff like that. But hey, if it's coming, again, one of the things, if it's coming from the developer and they're okay with it, then hey, that's their vision. You know what I mean?
I don't recall anybody asking for.
Yeah, I don't recall every having
like
problems
an easy mode
with the game.
I'm
like, okay.
On it's not, the game gives you the impression that it is going to be challenging, but like it's really fucking
it's not. No, not even.
It's not at all. Right now,
I never lost all three. Like I lost the three lives, right? Because you have up to 3 chances. I never lost all 3. I would lose one here and there, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, same here. I have not like died and have to loop on a particular area. I don't know, man. The aspects of this game, on one side, they are intriguing because I still want to know more about, their relationship between Juliana and Colt, and why is it that she hates him so much. And I kind of have an idea, like I've already said from when I started playing this game, of how it was gonna go. But I'm interested in knowing how it goes. I'm at a point where I don't even have to, like, you don't have to bother about collecting Residium because I have everything purple already, which is like the high tier.
Mm-hmm.
I have all the frigging what do they call the things that you put to the weapons or
the attachments, or I don't recall what they're called, but they're like
like you attach them to weapons or you attach them to yourself, or and they're meant to give you special perks basically. Mm-hmm. And they come in different tiers, and you got the purple being the high end tier. Well, I've collected all the ones that are that I normally use, And now I have so much residuum that I'm just like collecting duplicates of crap because I just don't want to throw the residuum away. The residuum being the
trinkets. That's what they call.
Trinkets. That's what they call them. Yeah. And then the residuum is the thing that you collect. I was gonna call them the souls. The items that you collect, or
I mean, yeah, it could be. It's a mineral of sort,
more proper. It's like the element that you're basically constantly collecting that you use to upgrade yourself and your powers and
your abilities basically.
Yeah. So all of that is out the window right now. I don't even have to worry about that because I already have the 3 weapons that have served me very well. The powers that have the only 2 powers that have served me very well. Like the game offer you different powers that you can use to tailor your gameplay. But once you discover the 2 that you like you stick to them. Like it offers very little incentive to try to have you experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the problem that I've had with arcane games for the most part. You have always feel like you stick to the 2 things that are powerful, and the rest is like it feels like filler. Honestly, it feels like filler. Not to mention that the entire game takes place in the one place, and the one place you're looping constantly. Like this areas like the back of your hand already. And it gets repetitive for I don't know what it is. It's surprisingly long, even though it didn't took you that long. I noticed that I'm over 30 hours already on it.
Jesus.
And I'm still. I mean, I'm sure that I am getting closer to the moment, but so far, because the whole thing is you have to try to end up having a loop where you are rounding all the people kind of in a line to be able to kill them the same day, and at first it seems impossible and daunting because you don't know what is it that you need to do. And the way I was playing originally, which I realized the reason I wasted so much time with it was that I was searching for clues that were never meant to be there. Yeah. I was trying to come up, search for ways for me to try to get the visionaries that I need to kill, as if I had any power over doing that. When the power that I really have over doing that is, hey, make sure you pick this mission to do. It's not yourself making the choice; it's the game making the choice for you. If you don't select to do the mission, that's fine. You can do something else, and you might encounter something else. But it's almost like going off the beaten path. You're not. You're kind of aimless. I don't know if you remember that. Up to very recently, I was asking you, like, dude, how do you know in this game that you're actually making progress? Because everything seems so random. Everything seems so random.
Yeah, the progress is the missions, the list of I'm trying to think of the
visionary missions. It's the visionary missions that you have to pay attention, and the ones that you have want to pay.
Even the side ones and stuff like that. That's what you're doing. All you're doing is really clearing up all the to-do lists, if you will. Right. And as you clear up the to-do list, it starts to open up new paths and add new things to the to-do list. Eventually you get to the point where the last item is, okay, now you have all the items. Now you know the path. Go do it. So that's the last thing on the list, basically.
Right. That was my point. That instead of the way I was thinking is I was thinking that I was in control and I was supposed to do all those lineup. When in reality, all you have to do is just follow the to-do list, and the game will automatically set it up for you. So you really have. So it gives you the impression that you could decide to play it. Like, say, for example, what if I don't want to kill this person here? What if I want to try to make them do this so that I'm able to kill them right here, like on my way? And no, at the end of the day, you don't have control over that. Is everybody's gonna do the same to-do list, and everybody's gonna be able to set it up the same way, to get them all. And once I realized that, now the game, like, it just became like the exploration stopped. And good thing, because I was tired of exploring already. All you need to do is just follow the waypoint. Go to the waypoint. You're done. You don't even have to do anything else unless you want to. Like, for example, I had a mission where all I had to do was, go to this room and find a particular item. I'm not gonna spoil anything. So I go to the room. I get the particular item. I'm ready to leave. It took me probably 5 minutes from when I started. So I was like, okay, this was very fast. Then some motherfucker saw me and started shooting at me, and their friends started shooting at me. Because remember, I'm trying to just go back to finish it real quick. And so mofo killed me, or not kill me, but started taking shots at me. So I was like, you know what? I was gonna let you live this loop, guys, but now all of you are going down, and you're visionary too, which is the guy that is at the like he built his own fun house type of game thing. Yeah. So I just went there. I killed him for the umpteenth time. I kill him. I'm at the point where they're not dropping any new power-ups because I have grabbed them all. So all they're giving me is just Residium, but it's still, even though it's a waste of time, it still feels like time well spent just for the revenge.
The cha-ching. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, the revenge.
But and somehow I'm enjoying it. Somehow it has picked up. I did remember that I grew tired of the game, and now that I know exactly what is it that I need to do, and that it wasn't daunting or anything like that, I just didn't know what to click next. I didn't know what the game expected me to do, because I never felt like it did a very good. Well, that's not fair. Let's say it was me. It was all me. It was me. I didn't know where to go next, because I feel like if I blame the game for not telling me where to go next, then what I'm asking is, oh, game, you should have been even more one way that you are already,
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have wanted that. The shooting mechanics on it, I still don't like it. I'm still not enjoying that part. I mean, I do like when I take people out with my silencer. It's not the pistol anymore. I'm using the one that is like a small machine gun, like an SMG,
submachine, yeah,
like a submachine gun, but it has a silencer. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is
that's definitely that's gold right there.
Dead. And there's not much to say about that game that couldn't be said without spoiling anything. So I'm just gonna say, if you guys find it on a deep sale, like, yeah, why not?
Wait a little longer. No, I'm just kidding.
What's that?
I was saying, you said when if you find it on a deep sale, wait a little longer.
Wait a little longer until it comes on Xbox, because by that time it's going to be on Game Pass, and by that time,
which is probably why not a unit is being moved right now.
Game Pass to Game Pass game, if there have ever been one.
Yeah.
I know that really has to be like right around the corner. It's probably going to be announced soon, and they're going to try to throw in some extras, because of course they want to indify, but it's not great. I probably wouldn't have been bothered as much if it wasn't for all the fucking people calling this game a 10. It's like,
and I think we fell for it. I think you and I specifically fell for it, because it was like, there's no way. There's no way. And part of me has to, like, I mean, it's the same thing with Elden Ring, right? I feel a lot of people who never try the game saw a 10. I guess I should try it. I mean, I can't
yeah.
miss out on a 10, So,
Hey,
and so
I
yeah,
do that. I do that. I to be fair, and I have my reservations with Deathloop from because I was telling you like, ooh, I don't like the art style or anything like that. But then that day that I woke up and I saw the reviews and I saw 2 10s, I was like, I'm messaging Nardo because there's something weird here.
Yeah, and nothing that I saw was
Nah.
you know what I mean. But I still fell for it, right? I mean, fall for it. I was curious about the game anyway.
That's what you do, on a game of the year. Very basically,
yeah. People are talking about it, game of the year. I'm like, no. Especially after finish, it's like, no.
I don't think it was anywhere on the list. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, voice acting, game of the year. Okay.
Oh yeah,
yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I give you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Voice acting, yes. Everything else, no. The other game that I've actually been playing more than I anticipated, and I've mentioned it, this is not a new game. This is a Devolver Digital joint.
Oh, okay.
And it's a little title called Luftrausers.
Luftrausers.
Or Luftrausers, as I call it. Yes. Luftrausers. I've mentioned it before, but it is a simple high score chaser. Actually, that might not be true. It might have an end, but it just doesn't feel that way. At least not the way that I'm playing it. But it's basically, what can I call this? A bullet hell?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is, but it's also got a little bit of a roguelike, because I mean you don't really, it's really like almost like how long can you survive,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because roguelike wouldn't tell that you're getting stuff that you might lose, and in this one, you unlock features of your plane. First of all, it takes the stage of it is like a fictional war, obviously, and you are manning this I guess experimental plane.
Yeah.
And you're taking it to, you're always taking it to the skies. You launch from a submarine,
Oh, wow.
and you're taking it to the skies, and then you just go at it. All you got to do is just blow up the other planes, and you're over the ocean, so they're gonna be battleships and tugboats and shit that's gonna try to take you down. The graphics are like very low-fi. Yeah. Very it has this weird sepia tone, and not only that, but it's also a little pixel art on purpose,
art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pixel art, but on top of that, it is sepia tone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look particularly well, but it's fine. It's just an art style that they decide to do. The thing that this game has, aside from the cool gameplay, is the fucking stellar music. The stellar soundtrack. It's so good, dude. And the funny thing is that it's just one song that plays. The other song is when you are on the submarine, where the title screen, basically you haven't, or when you're making your selections, because you can customize your plane. But when you're battling, there's just one tune, but a lot of different variations. And what I mean by that is, depending on the way you configure your plane, whether as the way it propels, the body, or your guns, like each selection corresponds to a different type of track that gets intersected into that gets injected into the music. So every time every time you customize your plane, you hear like a different version of the same track, and it's I don't know how to even describe it. It's extremely catchy when you're fighting. Like, you don't want to die because you want to continue listening to the music. It's almost like a rhythm game on that aspect, except that you're not trying to go to the rhythm of anything. You're just trying not to die so you can continue listening to the rhythm. if I can if I can say it that way.
Yeah.
So that aspect is it's extremely enjoyable. Like I said, as you're destroying, as you're climbing up and destroying, you're leveling up, but you're not leveling up in the sense of you're getting stronger. I think the level ups is more like just to show you what you can unlock, and you are unlocking new parts. Like, for example, you could have a jet engine that not only propels you, but it propels you with bullets, basically. So it's letting you fly as it's firing from the back. So it's good for taking enemies that are behind you, but of course you're not moving that fast because you're moving at the speed that gun is shooting. Or instead of a jet engine, you could have like a boat propeller, almost, it feels, and that will allow you to not take any damage when you hit the water.
Okay.
But if you fly too high into the clouds, you take a lot more damage. And then and guns will follow a similar thing. Like, you have guns that this is a very slow firing but very powerful. This one fires like a spread shot. This one's home in, but while the missiles are flying, you can't shoot again. And your whole point of the game is just to survive the wave of enemies, or try to stay alive as long as you can, so you can keep unlocking new things, and those new things that you unlock will give you another variation on the song that plays of the music that plays in the background as you're fighting. And even if it's a crappy one, like there's a crappy gun that is actually a laser, and you'll think, like a long beam, and you're thinking, I can destroy everything with a long beam going across the screen, but no way, it barely does any damage, and you turn very slowly when you're firing it, so it's not worth it.
It's not really worth it. Yeah.
No. Also, you don't get killed on one hit. Like, you have a small, a little bit of life, like a life meter. Mm-hmm. You don't see the life meter, but it's more like as you're taking hits, your vision starts getting like wider or brighter, and that's how you're taking too many hits. And then if you want to recharge your shields or whatever, you stop firing. And if you stop firing, your shields recharge faster. But then again, you're not firing. You gotta be careful. Yeah. So it's a neat little game. It's not even. I mean, it's like a. What's the price on that? I'm curious actually now. It's got to be probably like $14.99. If I had to guess, no, not even. It's $9.99.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think
on
it's
Steam. Right now is $1.99 on Steam.
Yeah, it's 80% off right now.
It's 80% off. Go grab that. Go grab that shit right now. Because I'm telling you, it doesn't look like much, but it is fun. And I mean, at $10, it's gonna give you more than your money's worth on the fun aspect.
Shit, at $2 definitely will.
At $2, forget it. Yeah. And again, I love that. I love that music. It just goes into, like, the music will be playing, and then suddenly it will go into this like very patriotic sounding tune that you feel proud for. You don't know why. It just sounds so cool. It's just like the best part. And that's the part where you really want to make sure you don't die because you don't want to miss it. It's definitely fun. I say a solid. I'm gonna say a solid 3.5. From my part, it is. I'm having a good time. It has very positive reviews on Steam right now.
I remember when it came out, and I jumped on it and I played it for a little bit, but I didn't do. I don't think it's a long. Like if you were to
there's not. Yeah. It's probably super long, and we just don't know because we can never get past the first few waves. But it's not like, it doesn't look like it's that type of game. Like I said, it looks more like a high score chaser more than anything, and just a game to sit down and just listen to the soundtrack and destroy. Destroy the other planes that are passing by and the ships that are trying to destroy you. That's pretty much it. Doesn't look like a very elaborated game. It's just, for some reason, it's so fun. That is for. That's it for games that I've played, or at least the ones that I've wanted to talk about. I put in Guardians of the Galaxy for a little bit, and I was having a good time with it. But I realized, but I played this already, and if I'm already playing Deathloop, I might as well just get this over with before I jump into something else. Yeah. Because that's the thing with me. It's like I get too comfortable with some games. They just feel like, I should go back to this because I remember having a great time with it, and that's why I don't discover the new gems like you do. And yeah, that's the same thing. I feel like that's the same thing with me for everything: movies, games, food, anything.
That's just part of your personality. You're a creature of habit. Yeah, and you love the comfort. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do. I stay on my comfort zone. Just play the games that I already know that are gonna be, good. I have, and the same thing with the series, allegedly. Some might argue. I watched two things. First of all, I'm still watching Halo, and I have to say, I'm kind of come around on it. Still don't think it's a great series. Nobody needs to jump in and fucking subscribe to Paramount Plus for anything. But if you get Paramount for free, and you are a Halo fan, you gotta know those are the two qualifications that you need to have in order to be able to enjoy this.
I heard that.
Otherwise, there's a lot of other series everywhere, that are going to, they're going to be better than, you're just not gonna. What are you gonna say?
No. Well, I was going to finish, but I heard, or I guess I could through my feed on the social medias. I understand that a certain gentleman, partook of the forbidden fruit here.
Yes, it's all over. Yeah, it's all over. It's all over the news bits and the social media. So, I don't know if I call it mega spoiler alert or just spoiler alert or just like, of course, But if you don't want to hear it, just cover your ears or whatever. In 3, 2, 1, I'm going to spoil it. Master Chief lost his virginity. And this time to a real woman.
I was going to ask. I was going to be like, so was it Cortana again?
No, but here's the freaky part. And this is also continuing the spoilers.
The freaky part, okay.
Evidently, she likes to watch. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Because she witnessed the whole thing. Anyway, it is okay. So here's the thing. This is why I'm turning around. Actually, I like Halo. You know, even though I don't like this the storyline of the games, I think there are hot garbage, and I do like the lore. For some reason, it's something that I recognize as being well crafted, you know, and I'm a fan of the old way that Microsoft used to like super like hyped up every release of a Halo game with like this, you know, small documentary or fakeumentaries, or the commercial, you know, the commercials were my favorite actually, and of course, going back to one of the first viral anythings on the internet, the ilovebees.com website. Like I've always been intrigued by that world. Not to mention the books. I've actually read a couple of the books and I have enjoyed them. You know, for what they are. I'm not gonna call them like, oh, this is the epitome of like. This is not J.R. Martin, guys. You know, I'm gonna tell you right there. They're just, you know, fun. You start watching this series, and if you have the mentality of a person that enjoys Halo, like you're not gonna have a problem because you're gonna be critical from the get go. And I just know it, and not because I'm not saying that you're cynical. I'm saying that you're good at recognizing things that are like, no, bro, come on. You know, I don't mean it. You're just gonna be cynical, you know, Sony fanboy, like Master Chief, but like, no, I'm not saying that. I just want to be clear. But from the perspective of a person that have enjoyed the games and all that, in spite of, I told you that from the, you know, I started watching the series and I really fucking liked that they were taking good care of maintaining the look. Like they weren't taking a lot of liberties on the look of it, you know, on what a Spartan should look like, what the Covenant should look like, you know, what the world, you know, around is. It looks very close to how the game was, and you know how the games sometimes like they can't put like a shit ton of assets, or you know, or they try not to, so that, you know, to keep things simple so that it runs good when you're running it, right? Yeah. When you play, and that's not to say that it is that it looks bad or sparse, you know, but it doesn't really translate like super well when you see it live. Like say, for example, when it's supposed to be like this huge laboratory, but the laboratory is just a lot of empty space with a couple of computers here and there, and like it just looks like a weird stage. Like the series has that, but it also has delivered on some very good battle scenes, even though sometimes they just can't freaking hold themselves from doing the first person view, because of course they're gonna do the first person view. They're you know, or of course they're gonna have the line of, you know, Cortana is basically telling, you know, giving the tactical information of what's going on, and he'll be like, I know how the game is played, Cortana. It's like, oh man, come on. Like really, the game doesn't have the game. Also the game, but the show doesn't have great writing. Let's say
sounds like
you will hear the characters just throwing the cheesiest, dumbest one-liners, or some scenes that you were like, what was the point of this scene? You know, like this is the typical shit that they cut off, and somehow we're having it here as filler. Like, okay. But by the same token, whenever it brings the action scenes, like it does pretty good on the action scene, on the action scenes, mm-hmm. And moments that you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Like it's that is cool. That part, and I felt like I even told my wife, it's like fucking finally, like after 3 or 4 episodes, we got the episode. I want to say it was probably episode 5, where you actually get a fight worth, admiring. It's like, okay, this is actually the type of battles that I envision this series having. Not a show that is that has. Well, first of all, he has having the Master Chief. He's not very talkative, and in this show he is a lot more talkative because he has to, because he is like obviously the main character of a TV show.
He's got to say something.
Even sometimes he'll be on the scene for like 5 minutes and he hasn't said a thing. It's like, okay, well,
hey, if it works for the Batman, why can't it work for him?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I am, but honestly, overall, I am enjoying it. It is starting to get interesting. Yes, they are not following or not directly following. I feel like it will still touch on the major plot points of some of the games, like at some point, I'll be very disappointed if we don't see the fall of Reach. Reach being like Earth Part 2, basically, in this universe. Like the fall of Reach will be something that you should almost expect that will happen. I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't, But even knowing that, that happened in the games, and even knowing that, they'll probably bring that, right? It's still exciting to see these characters are actually, they are starting to, like, I'm starting to identify this is the Spartans that I kind of like, or this particular character that looked like it was going to be a main person on the series is kind of stupid and should never be shown anymore. And it's having those, you're starting to get those feelings where at least it makes you want to watch the next one. To me. I am interested. I like the idea of humanizing this Master Chief because God knows that's the Master Chief is the most robotic of the characters. We have always already joked about the fact that he is personality 0, Yeah. And he needs something. And I'm not surprised that they're trying to do exactly that with this series, and it's good. It's good. I'm glad. It looks like it is, after all, going to be something interesting.
It sounds like in the end, you know what I mean? It is a TV show. And as a TV show, there are restraints, there's budgets, yes. Right? It's like, okay, we can't have battles on every episode. We're not going to be able to afford that. You know what I mean?
True.
Now, if this show takes off and obviously budgets will adjust based on whatever, being exclusive to a service though, that's usually you're already kind of bottlenecking what you can possibly do.
Especially a service like Paramount, which the only other thing they have to speak of this is for Star Trek.
But it makes, and it also makes sense that when they do, obviously with every type of series, particularly the season 1, you need the setup. And sure, most people who are watching already know who Master Chief is and all this stuff. Right. but they really want other people in.
They don't know who this Master Chief is.
I mean, yeah, exactly. You're gonna have some differences to basically to surprise everyone at some point.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that as you're closing out the season, where you would obviously open up with or not open up, come into a good battle to really kind of solidify. Okay, this is the type of show it is, but it is a show, so we still need to have our setup. And so,
right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. And it does start slow. It does start like, I'm surprised to hear that my wife was the one pushing to watch it. Even though at one point, I want to say probably by episode 4, she was like, I don't know, man. But we kept on, and now she's the one that was like, hey, are we gonna watch Halo tonight? Like, honey, we kind of caught up. They are coming. They're not like, they're not all like Stranger Things that you can just keep binging. We have to wait until next Thursday to watch the next one.
She's probably like, what kind of archaic system is this?
This is how we used to do. This is our old times we used to do in the before time, know. Yeah. Even though we are kind of getting a taste of that because we have the ad-supported version of Paramount Plus, so we are seeing that with commercials, which is fun, But yeah. If you already have Paramount, and sure, if you're curious, there's nothing else watching. Not you, Maddog, because you already have. I'm not saying you wouldn't enjoy it because it is sci-fi after all. I'm saying that you probably have a backlog already of shows.
A bunch of stuff, yeah.
You already did me a solid when you push everything to watch The Expanse. And I really appreciate that.
Oh, no, I appreciate that because you guys, and it's a shame because, Mrs. Santos mentioned it a while back. You know what I mean? And that's actually why it was even.
Because I didn't watch it. She was the one that watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. She mentioned dude, we were still having tacos back then.
Yes.
At your house.
We were on the 100th episode.
And it wasn't that I didn't add it to the list. I added it to the list. I've been getting around to it, and it wasn't until you mentioned it, and then you were absorbed in it, and then she even said, "Yeah, I'll start it over." I was like, "Okay, that
that means something.
Something, yeah. That's got to be something." And
that means that there's some spice in this that you need to watch. That's not Halo.
Yeah. I already, from what I have seen in the trailer, I was like, okay.
Halo is not The Expanse. If you're expecting that, then you are definitely 100% be sorely disappointed. If you're expecting it to be just another sci-fi show, then you know what? Yes, give it a shot. It's not. I mean, there have been cheesier ones, and I will say that after setting up for fucking 4 episodes, once it starts, getting up to speed, it is an enjoyable run. Like, I do want to see like the next one, and I probably would have binged it if I didn't. Other thing is that the director, that this show seems a little aimless. In the sense of who their audience is, because for once you're thinking, they're most the Halo games. I think now they are T-rated, right? Unless I'm wrong. I don't think there's an M-rated Halo game, or at least not recently. But the shows want to say TV the 14. Which I don't know, might be the fact that I'm not super used to watching a lot of shows, but I see some scenes on this that are like, whoa. I mean, they're not crazy. I'm not talking about anything crazy or gory, but still a little bit like a little disturbing, for your normal, unless this is the the bar that we have now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as
post wedding, I guess anything is, anything that is not a little dong flashing in front of you, it could be
it's acceptable at this point. Yeah.
Too many cracks, too many butts on it, though. It has. By the way, it had the. What's the name of this actor? The one that showed up The Expanse that I told you about. That that he's always casted to be the bad guy. Even in the Expanse, like, well, it must be because I have that face.
I must have that face.
I must have. Yes. He totally fucking does.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
So even his ass we get to see on a scene. Now, granted, it was totally 100% not his ass. It might as well have been Joey Tribbiani's ass. It was a butt double, but still, it's like gratuitous ass from everywhere. It's like, okay.
Well, this is what we're doing. Okay,
that, but it just seems weird on this show. and also the subtitles, for some reason, that like they'll have like a person say fuck, but like only the subtitle says fuck. Like I don't hear the person saying fuck at all. It's like, okay.
And that's that's TV 14 now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Only closed caption readers will get the legitimate version, the uncensored version. Oh my God. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I went last week, so I'm gonna try to pull from memory. Last week, I went to watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of
Madness,
Chaos, Dark and Chaos.
Yes, the Multiverse of Dark and Chaos.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Exactly.
And I'm not even talking about them. I'm just saying Dark and Chaos.
I'm just saying that would have made us a perfect title.
It would. Yeah.
Shout out to Dark and to Chaos.
Yeah.
Yes. So, sir, I really fucking like this movie.
Kill Surprise.
I have well, come on. Oh, come on. First of all, you wouldn't have known that I would have liked this movie.
No, I wouldn't know.
I would have expected.
If I had to make a wager, I would wager on the yay before I would wager on the nay. But I didn't.
You do know that I do like Doctor Strange. I do like the character, and I did enjoy his first movie. This like anything post the blip, Armageddon, and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
We have not been the greatest of fans, let's just say. Even though you sort of enjoyed Spider-Man, right? You say you.
I did, but not because of any. Honestly, it's more because of his connections to Sony than it is to Marvel. So.
Okay, so it was. All right, so that's fake enthusiasm for Marvel. Then
it just happens to be in the same. We're on the same lot, so I guess yeah.
Well, shit. I was gonna compare it to your liking of this, but I guess it's not. Like I'm not expecting. I still watch Marvel movies just for curiosity, and also because I know that I'll be entertained. At the very least, it'll be interesting. It's never gonna capture those, wanting to know, wanting to see the movie that you're presenting, but really trying to see the overarching story of like, oh, I bet at some point they're gonna flash the stone here or whatever. Like, there's gonna be some sort of like connection to it, to the what was that saga called again? The Infinity Stone saga. Yeah. That has been done and gone already. Anything after this is phase 4, right? Is that what they're calling it?
We are in phase 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
WandaVision, if I'm mistaken, was the very first thing within Phase 4.
Oh, I thought it was that Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man, for whatever reason, the last Spider-Man, right? Far From Home.
Far From Home, right?
Yeah,
The previous.
that was I don't know why Marvel does this, but that was the last film of Phase 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was nonsensical. It's like, oh wait a minute, you finished perfectly with Endgame. It's in the title. It's
exactly.
End. It's End. It's not you just throwing. By the way, Spider-Man. Here we go.
It's their one more moment. You know what I mean? We have one more thing. Yeah, one more thing.
And one more thing, Spider-Man. Yeah, that movie was all right. So anything on, but everything that has come after has been like. You watched Shang-Chi, right?
I did.
And whatever's of the rings, like that. By the way, that might as well be another universe because it feels so disconnected to anything else, or at least I can tell you that there was a pretty good opportunity to at least bring some element or some aspect of that world, of the Shang-Chi world, here in the new Doctor Strange movie, and they wasted the chance.
I think the reason for that is this movie has moved around in when it was supposed to come out, and so I think it was supposed to come out before Shang-Chi, and that's most likely what's been. There was a lot of there's been a lot of movement on certain things, and I remember a lot of that had to do with Spider-Man because they were sort of solidifying bringing Spider-Man into the MCU, and that shifted so many pieces. And then the Doctor Strange one, I think, took a while for it to get going, and I don't know. There's a lot involved, so I really think if they could have brought something into connected, they probably would have. But it wasn't meant. I think it just wasn't meant to come out.
Okay. That puts it more into perspective, and that will explain it better. Even though in the grand scheme of things, it's like it still feels like, oh man, they should have at least added something because I mean, you see,
reshoots, right? You can do some sort of reshoots,
yeah. I mean, not now. It's not like the movie deserves its patch. But the thing that made me enjoy this one, and I want to qualify it. Of all the movies of the Phase 4, this is my favorite. This one, and it's not because it's stellar. I'm not saying that it's that.
It's just the best of the lot.
I'm just saying it's the best of the lot. Yeah. We speak to the quality of the other thing that has come out, Eternals. But this one, I feel like it was like the movie itself was a little bit more emboldened. Like it was a little bit more daring with some of the things. First of all, I will advise to anyone and everyone to, if it's not too late already, don't watch trailers to this movie. The trailers do this movie a big disservice. And I went. We having watched. I don't even remember watching a single trailer for it, and I got caught by by moments and ideas and appearances that I thought were like pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. It's obviously handling. They're talking about multiverses, so you sort of expect some things that you might be imagining here and there. But I feel like the movie, like a lot of the Disney of this Marvel movies, tend to have a formula, and for all intended purposes, the formula might be here also. But I didn't quite catch it. Like it didn't impacted me as much, and that formula is usually revolves around having the silly moments just for the sake of being silly. For example, the what?
Just the sake of a chuckle. They want to get a laugh out of the crowd.
Yeah. Just to get a chuckle there. Here there. I always call it. I always I call it the Loki and Hulk moment, because I feel like that was the one, even though they have done this before, but I feel like that was the one, the one that impacted the most, the one the one that people enjoyed the most, and then just from there, it felt like every movie needed to have its humorous stance. Not to say this movie wasn't humorous in any way, because that would have, I mean, it's not a DC movie. No, the movie was actually, if anything, it was probably one of the more fun ones, of the lot. And a lot of it had to do with the villain. I won't say anything actually when it becomes to the villain, because I feel like this is something that you want to discover for yourself, or unless you've been spoiled on it, in which case it's fine. It's not like it's going to change a lot, but it did grab me. It caught me by surprise. Again, not delving into a lot of the comics or anything like that, and not having watched any of the trailers. So I thought it was a smart decision, a cool decision. It was, I'm not going to say it was a flawless execution, because in reality, it was totally not, in the sense of this person that we know suddenly acting this way is kind of weird, but there could be an explanation of it, and to say more is too much. So
I know. I was gonna say you're leaving people hanging here.
Yeah, no. I honestly believe that if you know, then that's fine. You already have an idea, an idea, and it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna detract from your enjoyment of the movie. But I really love finding out without knowing, and I don't want to, spoil it for anyone that, to have that opportunity, because it was kind of a cool reveal, and the rest of it was like very, very interesting. Like, dude, this movie has some horrific deaths. Also,
there was an article that I saw that said there are some people saying that this movie should be rated R. So I can believe it.
You know what? A little bit more. I can see how they avoided it, but I also can see how they clearly made, big steps to avoid it, because I sort of agree. There's some death here, and it's, they're not gonna show anything particularly gory or anything like that, obviously, even though they totally could have. But just leaving it to the imagination, I feel like it's what makes it worse.
I think that's the best, man. Sometimes you don't want to have, your imagination can make it a lot worse than what they show. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Maddog, the offer still stands. If you don't have anything to do tomorrow and you want a Batman versus Superman, I will pay for your ticket. It will be my honor. I need to know. I need us to have that bathroom conversation. It's basically what it is. I feel
like the crowd needs an explanation here.
No, yes, I know it sounds weird. We need to have that spoiler review of all that. And I'm not trying to hype it, because it's not that. I'm not saying, if anything, I'm hyped for the fact that I was able to at least enjoy one of these post Endgame, because I feel like even Spider-Man, with everything that happened, it just fell flat on me.
Oh yeah. You didn't have the history, yeah.
No, exactly, because I didn't have the, and I thought the Shang-Chi movie was okay.
Me too.
I dislike the Eternals. I don't want to see them on the universe ever. Like, I don't want to see anything about that piece of hot garbage. Right now, sitting at my worst, the worst Marvel movie on my list of all the Marvel movies, that's the one that's sitting at, at the bottom.
That's an easy selection, yeah.
And I don't remember anything else that has come. So, aside from, well, actually, no, that's it. I don't remember anything else. And of the series of the what you call the TV series, WandaVision, and What If has I those are the two that I kind of like the most. And coincidentally, it feels like those are the two. Well, one of them, at least WandaVision, obviously. But it has a lot of elements, of that, because multiverse and yada yada yada. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie a very solid 3.5, almost. Yeah, I want. 3.5 feels like the.
Okay.
Yeah. It feels like the right, because it does have is. What can I say? You know how last time you I was trying to describe. I don't remember what it was, but you told me like, no, but what will be your score? Like you're scoring it as if it was, but what will be your score? I feel like I understand that question better. Like if you were asking me like, what is my score? Like I will say a 4 because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what you should score it at, because you shouldn't. When we score these things, we should score them as we see them. Not as, okay, I don't want to oversell this, and it's like, no. It's your score.
But at the same time, I am kind of overselling it with because a 4 is like what? A 4 is
great.
A 4 is great. Yeah.
Right? That's why we use those we had the
and then we have a 4.5 and then we have a 5.
Which is really great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? Okay. You know what? Yeah, okay. If I'm inviting you to watch it, it's because at least I have some curiosity of how it feels. So yeah. Then let me change my score. Let me give it a 4 on it. I enjoyed it. My wife did not.
Oh wow!
Really though. She said it was too confusing. I don't think I agree with that. I think it's more the fact that. Like it's not fucking Tenet or one of the guys. Yeah. It's not. It's more of it's the multiverse. So of course things are gonna be kind of like weird at some point on purpose, So yeah, she didn't dislike it. She's just saying like, no, I liked the Spider-Man better, and I suspect that you'll be on the same train of the Spider-Man will be your joint, but I still can wait for your long review. just to see, and with the clear indication that this is just I enjoyed it. That doesn't mean it is an amazing movie or anything like that. It's certainly not. Like I don't think it's on the top 5 or the best or anything like that. Probably not even top 10, because now there have been so many that I don't even remember. It was just enjoyable, more enjoyable than I anticipated.
Cool.
And that's good enough for me.
As for you, yes, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. It's comfort. Although I felt very uncomfortable.
Some of it? Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you guys have had enough of me. So I'm going to pass it on to you.
Well, good stuff. I don't know if I'm going to take you up on this offer. I
God damn it, Maddog.
I have come to a conclusion last week, and I think I even sent it to you.
I'm gonna stop watching movies.
No, au contraire.
That's your version that's a multiverse version of you saying that.
Oh, there is this. I'm sure there's a Martin somewhere saying that. But no, I've come to the conclusion that I don't want to waste any time anymore on mediocre stuff. Now that doesn't mean that that's mediocre. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's mediocre. I haven't seen it to make that judgment call. Obviously, and I don't expect it to be either. So it's just saying that in general, like I literally combed my list, bro, and said, okay, anything here that looks even a little out of place, gone. And I'm not, and it is not even going to waste it because there's so much on. There's so
All I'm
much.
saying is Pain and Gain better still be there.
Pain and Gain is still on the list. Yeah, Pain and Gain is still on the list.
Okay.
And anyway, my point is to say that because of that, a lot of the stuff that I watched was really stuff I wanted to watch, not stuff that, this came out, I hear it's good, or whatever, but I'm a little iffy on it, but I still watch it anyway. You know what I mean? And then I need to know
about it so I can have a conversation at work with someone about it.
yeah, exactly. And so no, I'm done with that. I guess I could start with what I've been watching to get that shit out of the way. First of all, I finished Ozarks, season 4, and highly recommend the show. It is a controversial ending. I know most people. I've looked, and it's a divisive ending. But you know what? Those are the best to me. Yeah. Sometimes, because those are the ones like, all right, so there's 2 different camps. Both camps can talk it out. Why this works, why it doesn't. And I sit on the camp because I'm always going to sit on the camp of the creator. Right? It's like, hey, this is their vision of what how they wanted to wrap it up, and whether I enjoy the ending, right? Because sometimes it could be one of those things where you just like, oh man, I can't believe this, whatever, and you if you know the story of the show, the story is these guys are trying to get out from under the cartel, something damn near impossible, my understanding, without including death. So there's a race against time. There's constantly this shifting of power that you're trying. They're just always trying to stay afloat. And let me tell you, the show constantly keeps you on edge. You're like, oh my, something else happens, right? It's just like, fucking hell, that you almost in the clear, and then something comes, right?
Breaking Bad was kind of sort of like that.
Yeah, which is why the show is compared to Breaking Bad. And I still will say Breaking Bad is superior. But this is definitely not far from it. You know what I mean? This is still a very, very good show.
Not far from.
Yeah,
okay.
I would definitely, and it's complete also, 4 seasons. Okay. Yeah. That's it. It's over. The show is over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know that it exists.
Until they come up with a spinoff. Better Call Joel or some shit like that.
I don't know. Netflix is making a lot of decisions to cancel shit, so I don't know.
The sequelitis and it brings us comfort.
Yeah. But anyway, excellent show. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this the series in general. I will probably give a 4. I'll give that a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
It was a great series. There are some episodes that if I were to judge it by the episode, I'd be like, that's a 5. That's a fucking 5 right there.
Ozyman is a 5.
Ozyman is 5, exactly. So yeah, when you have shows that have bangers like that, right? You have some shows that you go, this was the best of the series, but it's still a 4 or 4.5. You know what I mean? Ozyman is an example of an episode where it's just like, it nailed everything and had everything and blew my mind everywhere. You know what I mean? And so there's a couple episodes in this show.
You're making me rethink my score.
Of what? Oh, of the last one? Of what? A Breaking Bad? So anyway, I definitely just highly recommend the show. Definitely check it out whenever you can. There's another show.
Started it, but I think I think it was. You mentioned cartels, and I'm like, that's probably what did it.
Oh, I'm sure because there's like, I know you hate
extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like that shit just scares me too much.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I'm not obviously. Those are the type of things that you and there's just this crazy line that he uses that brings your mind to the streets of Juarez and stuff. Like, oh man, that's crazy. But anyway, so real quick, a couple movies that I saw, and this is kind of what I had this movie on my list for a while. It's called The Night House. And
Lighthouse.
I kept passing it up, kept going to somewhere else, kept watching something else that kept moving up the list while this just sat there. And that's why I say I'm done doing that, dude. I need to watch what I want to watch because I'm missing a lot of this good shit. And this is a very good one. The Night House starts, and this is not a spoiler because this is in the trailer. But basically it's a woman who is staying at her lake house. And she, at the very beginning, you realize something is up. And when she goes back to work, you realize it's her husband killed himself. She never knew he had any problems. She was the one that had gone through some sort of depressions at some point, but he was in many ways perfect. Obviously, everybody has their whatever, but I think they were married for like 18 years, if I remember the thing. And anyway,
and when he suddenly off himself?
He just suddenly offed himself. She doesn't know why. And it's amazingly acted because it stars Rebecca Hall is the main character, and a lot of the film is just her. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things like, man, you gotta have a strong person, strong actor there to carry that role when you're just you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what ends up happening is there's a little bit of a haunting, and what I loved about this is it's first off, it's not. I don't think I ever found it scary. I found it unnerving, but definitely not Hereditary, for instance. Okay, you know what I mean? It's not that. Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, exactly. So this is definitely not that. But sometimes sometimes you get into these movies, you go, what did I get myself into? Hopefully, we're not getting into that point, right? But
hopefully, I'm not gonna get scarred for the rest of my life.
No, to be fair, I still say Hereditary was great. It nailed what needed to. This doesn't get to that point. This is really more.
It scars your life. It
scars you really well. Exactly. That's exactly the kind of horror I want. The traumatic one. Anyway, so there's some haunting, and it's done very well. And what ends up happening essentially is because it almost feels like you've seen this film. I've seen plenty of these type of films, and the ultimate, what was going on, what led to everything was so it subverted my expectation. You know what I mean? Because I was just like, I feel like, and how we got to that point, and it's just like, this is actually, it's really good. So obviously I don't want to spoil anything. I like The Night House. I can definitely recommend. Thank you, baby. I can definitely recommend that movie. It was it's again unnerving, but nothing drastically scary or anything like that. It's definitely doable, and it's on HBO Max, by the way. That's where I watched it.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna spoil the ending. The call was coming from inside the house.
It's funny you say that, but watch the movie and then you can see what's going on. The next movie I saw, this is a Netflix film, and the reason I kind of started picking on these particular ones, I always wanted to judge. Just have next few films that I'm going to watch that are Netflix films, and really to find out, are we getting good stuff from Netflix? Because Netflix took a major hit recently, stuff like that, and they've canceled a lot of stuff and all this. Yeah. And they're basically greenlighting and fast tracking the whole the ad level thing.
Oh,
so that's coming, guys, like it or not. And anyway, so I wanted to see. I said, have they improved? Because a lot of their stuff is mediocre to bad. You know what I mean? They have the occasional good shit, but most of the time it's not. Yeah.
Most of the time
it's not. And so that's why usually I kind of skip over them. So I started going for the ones that I've noticed have received a little more critical acclaim. And so I started with this one that's called Mank, Mank, which is short for Mankiewicz, which is a story about a screenwriter, Herman J. Mankiewicz, who was the screenwriter for the original screenplay Citizen Kane. And the way the movie is done is, and this is what I love about seeing stuff like this, the movie's completely in black and white, but it's not just in black and white. It looks and feels like an older film, in the sense the way they used to cut, the way they used to have that little cigarette burn that happens in the right hand corner, just flickers real quick. to alert of changing of the reels and stuff. Even though there's no reels, this probably was done on fucking digital cameras. Yeah. And so, but if it was, I mean,
the graininess.
Yeah, it has a little bit of graininess. It stars Gary Oldman. First off, he plays the main character, Mankiewicz.
You already convinced me. I mean, anything with Gary Oldman on it, forget it. Okay, I am fast tracking that one.
Are you serious? I don't know if this is for you, sir. I want to put it that way.
Probably not, but Gary Oldman. That guy is a freaking.
David Fincher is the director, which he did, of course, your favorite movie of all time, Social Network.
Oh yeah. Is he?
So, I guess I am kind of selling it. But I absolutely love the writing. The writing is so different, and the way it's spoken and acted, it's fast paced in the sense that when the movie first started, the tempo of how people were talking and stuff like that, like it took me 10 minutes to really start going, I was just kind of getting my mind in line with how it was coming at me. You know what I mean? Because it's the way the characters are written. They're written almost too smart. I'm like, ooh, how do people respond so quickly with such a witty response? You know what I mean? And don't even realize it. And it's awesome. I love the writing of the film. Really enjoyed the character, and it's obviously sort of based on a true story, obviously, because Mankiewicz was the guy who wrote it, and it kind of gives you a little history as to what kind of led him to put together that screenplay. And
you watch the trailer, dude, and it like you will swear that this is. I mean, there's a lot of things that are obviously looking very sharp for it to be in a movie. However, it's almost like almost like a mastering of an old movie.
yeah. You know what? That's a perfect way of putting it, like a mastering of an older film.
Even when they show the title screen, it shows it in that title.
Yeah.
That looks like an old movie.
And I just absolutely love the way it looked. And there's something about black and white films, for the record, which is why I think I probably hold I'm gonna get to it, Trek to Yomi, a little higher than it probably should be. And I'll get to that in a second. But it really is because I love the look of black and white. This is why I spent so much time of playing Ghost of Tsushima in Kurosawa mode, because I was like, this is just beautiful, and it's so well done, and it looks and feels, and the sound was even different, when you put on Kurosawa mode, because the sound was recorded different back in those days. You know what I mean? So it had that almost echo that you're like, oh, why is that? How is that echoes? Because mics weren't exactly the best mics, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. Yeah. So a lot of that's happened in this film as well. And anyway, I really, really this one. It's hard for me to recommend these because I'm like, if it may not be, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be for everyone.
It doesn't look
the topic alone. Oh, sorry about the screenwriter of Citizen Kane. Who gives a shit about that? But for me, I'm like, I'm just like, this was everything I want that I want out of a film. And so anyway, really cool, and it's really cool to see this is a Netflix joint. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. We got a few bangers here, so I'm gonna start looking at some more. Just okay, what else do we have? What else is going on? Do they actually have the good stuff? And this is already a step in the right direction. So
the whole thing, even the whole presentation looks very old school. The little bit that I was watching, it even have like the real burning mark almost.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The cigarette burn. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the line. Yes. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the line at the corner. Except when they bring the thing, it says Netflix International Pictures present.
Yeah.
You see the thing Netflix on the top. It's like, oh well, you just killed the illusion.
The illusion's gone. Yeah.
Rated R. Also, the fact that it's rated R.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, thinking about it, I don't know why. I mean, probably language. I guess it's the only thing, because there's obviously no holding back. This takes place in the 30s, by the way. And this is a Hollywood story in the 30s, and it really kind of goes back to the days of the studio system in the movies. So you remember back, I don't know, we're not from back in the days, but the
music by Trent Reznor. Are you fucking kidding me?
Trent Reznor. That sounds familiar. Who's that?
9 Inch Nails. And also the music from the Social Network was also
was Trent Reznor? Okay, well, it sounds like this is a must watch for you then, isn't it?
So yes, it almost sounds like what could have, because his music is completely not like the 30s. So I need you to explain to me, what did he do that made it being kept in its original? Like, I don't understand. I'm seeing his name on it. It's like the most opposite.
Well, he didn't do anything.
Might as well said
a
Spike Lee joint, featuring Mel Gibson.
It definitely wasn't anything that didn't fit the look they were going for.
Okay.
So maybe
he was a consultant.
Or maybe he, who knows? Maybe he kind of enjoys that type of stuff too, and he's like, "Hey, I can do it. If you let me do it." The music was, the music wasn't something, but again, it looked and felt like a 30s film. So it wasn't like the next thing I'm watching, that we're actually watching currently. It's supposed to take place like in the 1800s, but the music sometimes in the background could be classical, but when you really listen to that classical music, you go, wait a minute, that's Miley Cyrus song. What the hell? You know what I mean? Nothing like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, nothing like that. The music.
Although I would have definitely loved to have listened to music here on this movie and be like, oh shit, that's 9 Inch Nails. probably would have. He probably sneaked something. I need to watch this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably will be quicker to see it, but it looks and feels like a true film of its time, or a film of the time that it's trying to portray. So
damn, I might watch this tonight. I'm too curious.
Hey. All I'm saying is that it's good. I don't want to hear nothing. I have not.
I'll probably watch it by myself.
Okay.
I'll watch it by myself.
All right.
Alone in the dark.
The last thing I saw, the last thing I've been watching, we're actually at the very last episode of season 2, and that is Bridgerton.
What? I heard this. Yes, what is this?
It's season 2 of it. It's the show that looks and feels like it takes place in the 1800s, London.
Oh, that's
and yes, like I said, the classical music that can be playing by the violinist is either some weird Miley Cyrus song or Justin Bieber, and you just go, wait a minute, I don't know why, but anyway, this is I mentioned this before when we watched season 1. This is it's one of those things where I wouldn't I purposely wouldn't sit to watch it, but watching it, I enjoy it. It's just, it is a very, I call this Downton Abbey with more sex, essentially, is what it is. So
the thing just went over my head, because remember.
Oh, really? Okay.
I am me.
So Downton Abbey is all right, forget about Downton Abbey. The point is that this takes place in 1800.
Now you have to explain to the audience,
Well, the audience, I think, knows. The Downton Abbey is a very famous show that takes place in London back in the days. People were always dressed up. The women in their corsets, the men were always in suits and hats, and they had horse carriages and all that stuff back and during those times.
This is your jam. I swear you are from that era. You traveled to the future. You were listening to vinyl the other day. It's like, who are you?
I love that shit, dude. I love it. But anyway, the story of this particular series is the story of the Bridgertons, which is the family name, and they have 6 kids, and how they essentially find love and marry and do stuff. The first season that we watched last year or a year and a half ago was the eldest daughter, who they have this whole weird thing that they do at that time, which is all the women who are ready to get married, they all go to this place, and all the eligible bachelors go there, and the eligible bachelors will range in many ages, my friend, but the women will not. The women will be 18 to 21. The men could be 20 to 85. Whatever the case may be, because the whole point is to marry, and bring the families together, people, right, money and all that stuff, right? It is weird because it feels like it should be insulting to people, but apparently everybody fucking loves it, because I have yet to see, because women don't have obviously have many rights at all. At that time,
it's history, it's the era.
But even then, you have a lot of people complaining, oh, why can they update that? And believe me, it's updated in the sense that
fucking history.
Well, here's this deal: is that the which I do kind of find cool, and that is the fact that there are people of every color, creed, and everything that are in this. You know what I mean? So it's not just white folk; it's everybody. So I love seeing that part.
It's not historical accurate.
No, well, hello, Miley Cyrus song in the 1800s. No, you know what I mean? It's definitely not historical. But again, then
I take it back. They should have. They might as well have gone all the way.
The point of it all again is the story of they finding love and all that. So, and this season, it's the eldest son who's actually the because their father's dead, so he's kind of the heir to the place, right? So he's trying to find his significant wife, but he's more like he's just marrying to marry so that he can marry. You know what I mean? So that there's a woman, the lineage continues, blah blah blah. And anyway, along the line, he runs into someone who he should not be messing around with, and it's just like at first I'm not. Like, okay, this is that silliness. All right, whatever. But then somewhere along the lines, the hook has me, right? So the point is like, it's late, 2:00. Like, honey, let's watch another one. And so we basically burned through it.
Is this comedic? Is this dramatic?
It's more comedy than anything. I mean, it has its dramatic moments, but it's really a drama romance with comedy.
A drama romance.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like Miss Maisel.
No. Not like
that's hardcore comedy at that point. Gotcha.
This is going to lean more on romance than anything else. And there's some like pretty steamy moments where I was like, "Woof!" Sorry, it's a little hot in here watching this. You know what I mean? And so
please don't share.
Oh, I'm just saying it's the truth. It's in the show, and it's funny because I think my wife was the one who this particular season. We're almost at the end, or we're more than halfway. And she goes, how many episodes were in last season? And I said, look, it's the same thing. 8 episodes. It's like, what the hell is all the sex? Because it didn't happen. It took a while to get to that point in the season. But yeah, once they do, man, they do. It's like there's no holding back. This is not TV 14, sir. This is TVMA right here, bro.
This is Cinemax After Dark.
Exactly. But anyway, I again, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't be watching it, but I am, and I'm enjoying it. And so I can't really say much about it other than say,
come on. So it takes place on the olden days. Like this is classic for you. You love this shit.
Oh, by the way, I didn't give scores. The Night House, I'll give that one a solid 3.5. That was a really good film. Mank is a 4 for sure. Easily like Mank. And Bridgerton, I want to give that one 3.5 as well. It's really good. It's almost, if you look at it, just looking at the trailer, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is definitely for a show for women," or because that's what it looks and feels like, But it isn't. At some point, I'm in it. I'm into it. I'm like, this is actually kind of cool. And so anyway, so those are the things I've been watching. I finished Trek to Yomi towards the
you did. I got a couple of days.
It's not very long. If I had to get, there's no counter in it to tell me how long I was playing it. But if I had to guess, I would say probably 7 hours, 6 to 7 hours. It's not very long. I still stand by that. It is there's so many beautiful moments in this thing. The entire game is just
Yeah.
oozing with beauty. I took pictures and put it up into the group because it's just an amazing looking freaking game. They spared no expense on that freaking on the freaking look. And honestly, the look alone makes me want to go back and play it again because it just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Where they unfortunately falter is the combat. I said it before, it is simplistic. You unlock combos, you unlock a bunch of other stuff, but I never used any of that. Like I said, once I discovered that combo that was like ridiculously good, that's all I used. I didn't go back to use any of the other ones. I didn't need to. I was like, this is the perfect one. Swipe, stab in the face. They're dazed for a second, and now I can perform a death blow, basically.
Yeah.
And lather, rinse, repeat. That's essentially with all. And of course, there was. Now, I will say one thing: the game is not hard. But man, there's a massive difficulty spike at the end. It was like, whoa. I was like, okay. I went from really just kind of cruising, and then suddenly I'm just
Dark Souling it.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, wow, I need to sit up now. Shit, hold on.
That's when you lean forward.
Yeah,
it's a lean forward moment.
Exactly. And then I'm leaning forward and getting frustrated at this point. So I'm just like, whoa, this is really hard. But like I said, outside of that, there really wasn't a lot of challenge in the combat. And then the story really wasn't really there. There wasn't a
typical.
It was a revenge story. It had some little twists and turns here, but nothing. Puzzles were very light, extremely easy. It was almost like, why even put them here? Why not just have more fighting? This doesn't make sense. There's some collectibles you can get, and I don't, they just kind of fill out the lore, but nothing.
A little imbalanced, basically.
Yeah, it was all style and some substance. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna say no substance, but definitely some substance.
I mean, it definitely had.
So
the way it did.
The look alone is why I'm gonna review this a little higher than I probably would, and that would be still at a 3.0, which is a good game. If it didn't have this look, if it didn't have this spectacular look, I couldn't give it more than a 2.5.
You would have dropped it.
Yeah. I couldn't give it more than a 2.5. I've already actually uninstalled it, but part of me almost wants to reinstall it again. Maybe just drop it to the easy and just kind of take in the sights, on a second playthrough. Because dear Lord, dude, I'm seriously, I cannot express. This is literally, what do you call it? The Order 1886. Remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Where the visuals were, oh my god, good. You know what I mean? What was missing was the game. The gameplay was very simplistic. Just typical cover shooter.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that happens a lot. That was you remember that Square Enix RPG game that looked very beautiful with its it was pixel art, but it was very
Octopath.
Beautifully rendered. Octopath, yeah, there you go. Octopath was that. Octopath felt like, this is all gorgeousness, but like empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a lot of the cool gameplay.
Exactly. So
it's funny you mentioned that because I had an inkling for, I was waiting for it to come out because it's on Game Pass and I could download it and play it.
I was gonna say,
But then I heard with the enthusiasm that you spoke last week, I was like,
I mean, you're looking at it two different angles as well here. I paid for it. You know what I mean? And for someone who is a quote unquote paying customer, expectations a little higher. If it's already going to be available to me for free on something, my expectations may not be so high. And like, okay,
no, but I still have. I mean, I was still, regardless if I pay or not, I still want a good gameplay experience because at the end of the day, that's what. Remember, it's me. Games don't tend to stick with me, so it needs to really grab me or it's gonna be a problem. And looks alone, they're not.
They only go so far. Exactly. They
Yeah.
only go so far. So that's Trek to Yomi. I may, like I said, try it again just to look at
I
those
see a short game
moments.
like
Yeah.
that. Why not?
Yeah. And the game that I'm currently playing is a game from my backlog. It's a
Ooh.
game called Lost in Random.
Oh my God, you went back.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I sure
totally
did.
random.
That is very random, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
fine. That happened to me with Deathloop, so don't feel bad.
Well, I'm not gonna put Deathloop down. I am actually really enjoying this one here. It is a
What picked you up?
what?
What picked you up? Because I remember you were having you were not super hot on it at one point. Or am I confusing
I think
it?
you may be confused because I've never played this game until
Oh, okay,
literally.
yeah. Then I definitely confused it because I was thinking of the one where you paint when you were.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. That's shit. Pixel Junk is the guys who did it. What is the crap? I know what you're talking about. No,
Yeah.
this is not this one. This is you can look it up so you can see some gameplay.
I've seen Lost in that's an EA game.
It is an EA original. Yep, one of the
EA original.
original.
So
Yeah.
I guess that we're not boycotting anymore.
Hello, I have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, exactly.
So
Wait for you to get on that shit.
Yeah, that shit can wait. Anyway.
You bastard.
So anyway, the story of this is you play a character named Even, and you're looking for your sister Odd, and you are obviously in the world called Random, and this is separated into 6 different regions, each of them named by the side of a dice, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah,
1 croft, 2 town, 3. Yeah. But this is done in an art style that is very Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas looking thing, and it does it really, really well. And then on top of that, the way it does its combat is also very unique. The combat is part action, right? Like almost Zelda, like, you know what I mean?
Encounters,
and part card battle system.
Oh,
yes.
Whoa. Did not expect that.
Yeah, I know. And so the way it works is you do have a deck, and you build the deck along as you go throughout the game. Mm-hmm. But you always have 15 locked into the cards you can play. And you can move them out and double them up if you have doubles and stuff like that. And so the way it works is a combat scenario will start off. You start shooting these gems off of the enemies, and as you collect the gems, it powers up your bar. And once it's powered up, it allows you to roll your dice, and the dice is actually a character you run into within the game. And when you roll the dice, the gameplay stops. The 5 cards that you have pull out, and now you can sort of use them for certain things, either to create a bomb.
Draw 4, motherfucker. And I change it to yet the green.
Reverse and skip. No. So one of them could be a bomb. Some of it could be a sword. It could be a hammer. It'll convert. Now, obviously, each one has like a point value, and so you sometimes you can use all 5 if you're able to work it. Some cards will reduce the point value of each card so that now it costs less. Some of them are health, and you basically use it as you need it. But it is random in the sense that, sometimes you're waiting for a specific card, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you have to go back into the normal battle and stuff like that. It is surprisingly addictive and fun. You know what I mean? It's the most fun part about it. Game.
Yeah, that one I've heard positive things about it.
Yeah, it is. I'm it's a charming game. It's silly like any Tim Burton type of that type of look and feel. It's meaty too. I've probably put maybe 10 hours already into maybe 12. I'm still going. It's obviously the story is going to take you to every land. You know what I mean? And I'm on my way to whatever 5ville is called, or 5 town, or who knows what it's called. Because the first one is 1 croft, 2 town, 3'sburg, 4 something. And so as you go along, you meet characters, and it's well written. I think the main character you play even is is written and voice acted very well.
I think even is from Two Town, if I had to guess.
She's a oner. Oh, that's the other thing. It's a class. It's also a class society. So the higher you go, 6 is, like that might also be high society. But the oners are, so obviously you start off as a oner, and you're working your way to that. But you're going there because your sister Odd was kidnapped by the queen. And so that's the main story of the thing. So
se jodieron porque they got Even and Odd, and those are the only 2 names available. So.
Yeah, yep. Mom and dad. That's all they had. That's it. We can't have more kids. That's it. Anyway, I'm still playing that, and that's the I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna give the score on this one because I
you probably have 40 hours still to go.
Who knows? I mean, I didn't look up how long to beat on this one, but I'm definitely liking it. It's a lot of fun. I thought I was going to probably just play it, and if I drop off, I drop off. I wasn't looking to do it, but the combat is just like this is it's a very interesting combat system. I have some gameplay save, and I'm gonna edit it and put it together up so people kind of see
I'm curious
how the combat is, because it's like, wow, this is different. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying. That's my point of what I've been trying to say with all the stuff I've been doing. It's like I'm done doing the normal whatever. I want that new shit, that new experience or different, weird experience even, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, which
you don't want the mainstream shit.
Yeah, man. I have Jedi Fallen Order, but I'm like, and don't get me even started how I feel about Star Wars, you know what I mean? So, but yeah,
shit. I can't get you to watch a fucking Marvel movie. I think you're done. You have sworn off the mainstream. Forget it.
Honestly, dude, I feel like, and this is a perfect time.
On, it's going to be.
This is a perfect time because there's nothing coming. There's nothing, bro. I don't know if you look. There's nothing coming out.
Elden Ring was the end. Was the end?
That's it. It ended all gaming after that. That's it.
Yes,
exactly. The game packed up their bags. That's it. We're out, guys. This is as far as this industry goes.
I mean, what else were we expecting? Starfield.
That moved out to next year. Fucking the other one moved out to next year. I think with those moving out, even Sony's like, okay, well, there's no rush on freaking freaking, what do you call it? God of War, you know what I mean? So that's probably going to move out to next year.
That's probably going to move.
Legend of Zelda, the new one, Breath of the Wild 2, that's next year. It's like, dude, we may just get Call of Duty this year, and that's it. That is sad shit, isn't it? That is sad and depressing.
Getting a FIFA this year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's even. Oh, dude, I can't even believe it, man. I can't believe it. What a weird time to be in. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I have been doing. And we're back, guys, and we're going to move right into our trailer of the week.
Woo!
Nice. I will make sure to sync that up in post. Yeah,
I can see that it's not at all. It's not together, and that's completely fine.
Exactly. So real quick, I just realized we didn't even select a trailer. We watched it.
We just went straight on it, and I guess we're gonna go by shit. They're gonna know our way of selecting, but you know what? That's fine. That's what we're here for. And besides, this is probably gonna be the most interesting one to witness because it's the hardest one yet. It is. Do we want to nominate the movie that looked disgusting, or do we want to nominate Crimes of the Future?
I'm glad you agree, sir. I feel Honestly, it's really, to be fair. So those are the two guys. Crimes of the Future
Mhm.
and a little title, a little indie title that actually is getting a sequel called Avatar. uh,
Avatar,
yeah, The Way
the
of Water.
Airbender.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh no, not that one. Not that one. The Way of Water. What the hell? Uh,
I was like, what the fuck? Did you just agree with me?
yeah. I just like realized like no, wait, no, that's not the one.
No, I heard that
Although
movie was terrible.
I
The
would
Airbender
watch
one.
that again before. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Avatar: The Way of the Water. I have zero cares about this particular film. Um,
Oh shit!
I,
I love
I,
that. I love that we just got a fucking pan.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what we're
Oh
doing this week.
shit!
We're panning the trailers of the week. Um,
Both of them are.
although I would at least give Crimes of the Future props for trying something different. You
Yeah,
know what I
oh,
mean?
dude.
I
Right. So
mean,
I would say you that should probably be it, right?
yeah.
Just in the sense of, well, this is probably one of the weirdest shit I've seen, and because of that, like I know it's totally not my type of movie, so I'm gonna skip this one right out. But there might be some of you sickos that might be into it, so but that's okay because at least you're not into Avatar, and that
Yeah.
is no, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. About that last part, I still will give it to Crimes of the City because it looks insane. It looks very very weird.
Mhm.
Whereas Avatar,
And
like
it
I
has
didn't.
Fragile. You know, you gotta give it up to
Oh
Fragile.
yeah, what's her name? The art the what's
The
her name
actress.
for real?
Oh
The
shit.
actress.
Damn. Hold on.
It's a French actress. She
Yeah.
was fragile on the that was her name on Death Stranding because of course that will be her name on Death Stranding
Leia
because
Sado.
Kojima. Lesudo,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. She's awesome. And well, actually, I said it like if I was very excited about it, but it's like to see what's her name Chris fuck what's her name the girl from the other girl
The
the one
other.
from Twilight.
Oh, son
Chris,
of a bitch.
Kristen, Chris, yes,
Let me
exactly.
just bring up the movie Crimes
Yes, please. In the
of the
meantime, I
Future.
want to say the reason I personally not selecting Avatar is because
Kristen
I didn't get
Stewart.
Kristen Stewart. Yeah, you go.
So,
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I was not. I saw the first one. That movie is super mega hyper overrated. Let's
oh
just
my
throw
god.
it out there.
Yes,
Let's
it
just
is.
say it.
It is.
All that movie was a cool tech demo for your brand new Blu-ray player, and that was it. You know, everybody wanted a showcase. That was the movie to Avatar. I think it was like maybe the era of 3D also, maybe around that time. I don't know. 3D TVs when that thing was when that was something. The thing is, um, it was I never enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the world. I didn't enjoy the message was. I mean, we've already seen that on many other movies. So hearing that there was gonna be a second Avatar, I was like, okay, well, I was wondering like what else are they gonna make it about? And just looking at the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, yes, it's gonna be about the exact same thing that the first one was. Okay, so now I'm even less inclined to care about it. Whereas Crimes of the Future, even though it looks like very weird and disgusting, it is from the director of the Fly. The director, right? The director is it?
Of the Fly?
The Fly?
Yeah, well, David Cronenberg, yeah. Did he do the
Yeah.
Fly?
I don't know. I thought that was I thought on the trailer I saw the fly, mentioned the Fly, but maybe it was
maybe
not.
it is. Let me see. I can.
You're going through the trailer now. So
No. Look, I'm bringing up David Cronenberg.
oh, okay.
I'd rather just do that.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna we haven't had a
Yeah.
trailer in a long time, so we might as
Yeah.
well go with that one.
I agree. And it is important to note that David Cronenberg has said that he expects many of folks to leave this film within 5 minutes of starting it, which, in essence, yeah, kind of like, wow, is that really what's happening here? But
it's gonna set the stage for you to either go, fuck this shit, I'm out, or well, shit, I need to find out what the hell is it that this movie has, that even the director is it's basically daring us.
Yeah,
Judging by the trailer, I could tell you that I wanted to walk out of the trailer the first 45 seconds, let's say.
Here's something interesting. There was a directed, I don't want to say short film because it's an hour and 3 minutes, by David Cronenberg back in 1970 of the same name, Crimes of the Future.
This is the remake.
This is apparently it is.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. By the way, he did do The Fly, which I did not recognize. That was 1986, bro.
1986, yeah.
Where were you in 1986?
Where were you? I was in the 3rd grade. No, I don't remember. I watched The Fly. I know I was scarred by The Fly. I tell you that.
I was too. I'm not gonna lie. That definitely. He's done. Now that I look at his filmography, he has done some interesting. I don't want to say gory. Scanners was something from back in the 80s. I remember that movie being. He did that one too. So yeah, he's. I wonder if he's gonna. I don't know. I wonder if he's gonna push the limit on this one. The trailer certainly pushed the limit, but it's also the Red Band trailer. So
Yeah, and also the I don't know. There was something unnerving about the whole. I guess they're excited about the discovery that they've made in new organ or whatever, and suddenly like people are like fucking mutilating and deforming themselves
because of the pain. Because there's no
more pain. Yeah. But
which is an interesting thing, you know.
The concept is super interesting. The concept itself sounds interesting. They did it in BioShock. You know, the one character that wanted to create art out of the human form. And all that. The problem is when they start like almost like sexualizing it a little bit, and now it's like that's the part where it's disgusting. It's not that it shows anything gory or anything weird, although they do show some cuts that it's like holy shit. But no, it's more the lady trying to lick the whatever.
the gaping gash.
No. I'm not. I'm gonna skip this one, and you'll let me know.
I was gonna say I may jump into it just to see what it's about and
just to scar myself
back.
alive.
Yeah, I probably will scar myself alive. So one quick second. All right, so that I guess we can agree would be our trailer of the week. And sorry to Avatar. Avatar is not. I don't know, man. It's just it's not important as far as I'm concerned.
Sorry to the fans. I know there's some of you that have been like waiting for this. We are just not the audience for it. I don't like the design for it. It looks too weird. It looks too like no. No.
Yeah,
let's just say no because I don't want to insult anybody.
I mean I can go ahead and say
accident.
That. Yeah, it's definitely. It looks more of the same, and honestly, what it wasn't really that special when it came out. So, that is definitely a wait to maybe video. You know what I mean? It's I'm not even.
Completely.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I had a couple of things I wanted to, as far as news bits for useless news. Nothing big, but did want to mention and ask your opinion as to. I mean, we actually mentioned this a little earlier, but Bethesda has officially delayed both Starfield, which, by the way, was your drafted pick.
Yes. Don't don't believe that it didn't hurt when I woke up that morning to that piece of news.
I'm sure, dude. I'm sure.
It was disgusting, but sort of expected,
Hmm. Sort of, yeah. Because I mean, I remember the release date they originally mentioned was like this canned release date in November. It was like basically
Yeah,
the
like
last,
11/11/22.
yeah, something like that. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay,
They wanted to. That's the date. That no,
yeah.
it didn't work.
So, and Redfall is also been
I
pushed off till
don't remember what
2023.
the hell was What the hell's Redfall?
That one, if I remember correctly, was because this is also from Bethesda, but it was specifically Arcane. Yeah, their Arcane game. It's the one.
Okay.
It's like a co-op vampire type of hunter type thing.
Oh my God! It was not that?
It was just a they didn't show any gameplay that I recall. It
Oh,
was
okay.
just a like a really really stylized trailer of what was going on. But
Yeah, I think I remember.
yeah, yeah. So that was another one that's coming out. But I mean that does call into question again. I mean, what else are we getting this year when it comes to
Dude, Microsoft bought all these studios to release games, and we're in 2022. Not a single one of
not a
them.
single one,
I
dude?
mean, granted, they got yes, they got acquired this year and whatever and yada yada. But you would have expected
The major ones got acquired this year.
something exactly. And
Yeah.
no, I'm not talking about Call of Duty, because
Yeah.
Call of Duty is gonna be released everywhere, and also it's Call of Duty.
Exactly.
So the hearing about Starfield, like it's a Bethesda joint. I take it with a huge. I gotta be extremely careful. I'm not going to risk another Fallout 76. From the moment they announced it, yes, the trailer looked awesome and all that, but
So
it
the
was
Fallout 76.
exactly therefore, I was like, no, this Bethesda is on the warning list.
Mm-hmm.
All their games or all the games by Bethesda Studios are wait for reviews for me. It's not gonna be day one. It's not gonna be pre-order. It's not gonna be no. I'm gonna wait for fucking reviews on it.
Yeah.
So, but I like the idea of Starfield being something futuristic, because the last futuristic thing that I was hoping was Cyberpunk, and we all knew how that ended. So,
Yep. Exactly.
So I'm not surprised to hear about the delay. If anything, fucking take your time. Sure, it's better. It's better that way. You just need to be damn fucking sure. Then when you release it on, 2023's first quarter, sometime, that game better be fucking stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Because that you have hyped it up, and you've already fucked up big time with Fallout 76, regardless of if you fix it or if you think if you think the game is better now. It's like, no, you gotta make
Yeah.
you gotta make
Yeah.
sure you deliver this this
You,
time.
it needs to be, yeah. And the reality is that this is going to sort of tell the story of what you should be getting, right? I mean, I feel like that's the major thing that Microsoft needs to do, right? Because it's like, oh, you got all these studios, but all right, now it's time to whip these studios into shape. They got to start releasing bangers. You know what I mean? They can't go releasing Fallout 76s. You know what I mean? They need to go releasing the top. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're still going to have your subscribers because it's going to be Game Pass. But in the end, you got to have a gem or two within Game Pass. It can't just be, hey, it doesn't matter. It's first party. We're coming here, whatever. But it's like, yeah, it still has to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can't just be mediocre, and I hope that that's not the thing that they rest on. And we'll see. There was I don't have the report now, but there was a report of some concern with the flight mechanics of the game that wasn't coming together and that kind of stuff. I have to, grain of salt on that because I don't have the article to back it up, but it was out there and I passed by or something like that. And of course, in my head, as I read, I was like, oh, of course, Bethesda. Of course, there's going to have a bunch of issues. So
there's going to be some janking here because Bethesda jank. It's a thing.
Yeah, exactly. The last one I have, sir, is looks like the season of Summer Games Fest has officially starts next week. Sir, we have yes, sir. A publisher, 505 Games, has announced their plans to hold their very first digital showcase, and it is 505 Studios, 505 Games. Excuse me.
Right.
Presentation will take place Tuesday, May 17th, 6 p.m. Pacific. That would be 9 p.m. our time. And of course, this will be on their YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to be also streamed on many other sources as well. So, what do you think? Well, looks like we're here. Should be getting some new announcements now.
Well, we certainly need them because the year so far feels like it's going to be very dry.
Yeah.
505 is, I don't want to say, they're certainly, they're not minor league, but they're also, I don't consider them like a major player. They have published some good games, but I feel like they're mostly like arrangements, that they have made to publish games that have already been published by another company, like Death Stranding. Bringing Death Stranding to PC was
right. They did do that. Yeah. They did. Let's see. We got Abzu. Here's some names that Abzu, Control Ultimate Edition, but that's basically a port. Let's see. I don't see anything specifically from them. Hellblade. I think that was also Hellblade. Okay.
Yeah.
Senua's Sacrifice. Dead by Daylight. Inside and Limbo.
Inside and Limbo with
Yeah, these are all, and this is a publisher, so Terraria, which I see all the time. I'm tired of seeing that game.
If they're having a digital event, they must feel confident that they have a library of things coming out that we might be interested in, and that's cool because that's what we need. It's probably going to be some new, some new things. And
there lies my concern, though. I don't have it up here because I wasn't going to make it a topic, but Nintendo just had an Indie World event, and it just happened on Thursday. And well, it's indies, you don't.
Oh, okay.
So, but good night, baby. But a lot of the titles that they showed off were all coming out in 2023. Exactly. So it's like, again, where's the second half of 20? It's like 2022 second half doesn't exist.
No.
You know what I mean? And what are the chances will we get to the 505 one here on Thursday and they're showing stuff off? Yep, coming next year.
Oh, they gotta have something. I'm sure that they'll have. And the thing is, it might not be things that we are gonna be immediately excited about firsthand. So who knows? But I mean, hey, it means we don't have E3 anymore, but at least the spirit of E3 kicks up next week.
Yeah, so at least we're getting our very first one. I'm not taking time off for this, so I'll probably just watch it.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out later on.
Exactly, yeah.
The the reset eras.
You just go skim through the actual announcement. That's how you.
Show me what I care about.
Well, that, guys, is all the news bits that we have. So now, let's do it. Time to get into our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic
again, guys, is Death
by Daylight.
Death to Creativity. Oh, no. I was trying to remember, and then you said by Daylight. I'm like,
Creativity. Son of a bitch. Death by Daylight to Creativity. What inflaming title, sir.
It is. And here I guess I'm going to start off with the basis of why I brought this up as one of the reasons. it just feels like if you really look at a lot of the studios that are making games at this moment, major studios, right? I mean, again, indies are gonna indie. They're gonna do whatever the hell they want because they're doing it's their money, right?
They're
Um,
independent of anybody telling
exactly.
them what to do.
Whether
So
sells or not, we're still
fuck the
making this shit.
man.
Yeah. But there is obviously limitations to budget if you're indie and stuff like that. So we're talking about the mid to high end games. They sit within this market of just remaking, rebooting. And don't get me wrong, I have some excitement for some of them. Example would be Dead Space, the remake of Dead Space. Yeah, I am kind of excited for that. But wouldn't it be cooler if they just did a quick remaster and that group that's working on this can work on something different? Maybe another, horror title. The Last of Us is being remade. Why? The game is not even that old. Why are we remaking The Last of Us? The Last of Us is not even 10 years old, bro.
Not even.
You know what I'm saying? And Naughty Dog is taking lead because they took it away from the Days Gone guys. He's taking lead on it. It's like, so that means we're not going to see their next title because their next title is this. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, so now who knows what they're making? And I feel like in there lies the issue. You know what I mean? The issue is that now all these resources are being tied up to this stuff, and we're not going to see original stuff from these guys, whoever they may be. And you know what I'm saying? And now we're just left with all the mainstream stuff, you know? So that's kind of the reason why I wanted to make this the hot topic. But I wanted to get your opinion on that. You know, do you see? Does it make sense what I'm trying to almost argue against? Because, yeah.
Well, sir, we have created here, a programming that it is about, it's topical, right? And as a good topical show, I feel like we should have both aspects, of the story, so we can have a proper discussion. Well, I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and defend the fact that we are getting this sequels, because I feel that the companies, the gaming companies, and first of all, I should say I'm a creature of comfort. I like to play the stuff that I know that I'm going to enjoy. I don't tend to get very
daring.
What's the word? Yeah, daring when it comes to the things that my time experimental, exactly. Say with food, I don't want to go experimenting into trying new things. I want to eat the stuff that I know I already like, because that's just, I'm a creature of habit. You have described it very well. So just like that, I'm also going to say this is not the fault of the publishers. The publishers are responding. I don't know why I'm sounding like a fucking
keep going though. I like it. I like
a Republican politician,
a little GOP man. Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna say that this is not the fault of the publishers. The publishers are just responding to what the people want and what the people have wanted and what the people are requesting. For the most part, they always like to say we want new and exciting things, but everybody knows that when the chips are down, at the end of the day, they just gonna end up buying the same old fucking games that they have been releasing over and over and over again, because they know they like it. They know it's good. They know that it's something that they have tried before, and even if it gives them less, what do you call it, less bang for no, even if it brings it what am I trying to say, not as much, not that the fun that they get is not as much as the fun that they had previously, so diminishing returns, that's the word.
Diminishing
returns,
though it's
bringing diminishing returns, at least they know that they're still getting something, that they can depend on, the familiar, that was fun, rather than trying their luck into this new Square Enix games that came out that had to do with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, what the fuck? Why would I want to play that? I haven't played a Guardians of the Galaxy game ever, so why should I try that?
The sales do speak when it comes to that, because it's clear no one played it. You know what I mean? And
people don't trust it. People don't trust the new IPs. They want to say they want, they want new IPs, but at the end of the day, we all go into the sequels. We get excited about the sequel for a Dark Souls games, for example. Hell, the moment we saw Elden Ring, getting made, and they started talking about, oh, it's like Dark Souls, but it's gonna have like open world and different aspects, and we were already starting to get concerned. It's like, ooh, I don't know if I want them to change it too much. It's like, why don't you do Dark Souls 4?
Well, they did do Dark Souls 4. How about that? Because that's exactly what freaking Elden Ring is. It's a natural. Yeah, well, we've discussed Elden Ring, but I know what you're saying, and I see your point. Obviously, there is something to be said about that. For instance, a perfect example as to why we had a Resident Evil 6 that we ended up getting, and that's because of Resident Evil 5 and how much that game sold. Believe it or not, that game made money. Why? Because of Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was, a game changer, right? They took the Resident Evil name and completely rechanged it. It's not going to have the pre-rendered backgrounds and all this stuff. And Resident Evil 4 was, a milestone in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And it's in its history. So because of that, Resident Evil 5 comes out and people are like clamoring for it. Like, oh, we're gonna get it. This is a follow-up to the last one, right? Yeah. And it sold. Now, critically, it didn't do so well. But it sold gangbusters. What did that tell Capcom? Oh, we nailed it. Let's keep doing this. And then we got Resident Evil 6. So you're right. It does.
They doubled down on the shittiness. Exactly. Instead of dedicating, like, they saw what they did in 4, and they thought people liked what they saw in 5 and not 4. It's like, come on.
Yeah. That is what literally led to that, to me personally. And when you keep things similar, you still do get the money, right? That does attract people in, and because they want to see the same thing. That's why, just going back to From Software, each title is, moving the needle higher each way, even though it's really just the same game over and over again. But you got to give them credit and say that their first probably major game of the year, mainstream major game of the year, is when they went off the beaten path and gave Sekiro to the world. You know what I mean? Sekiro was, yes, it shares a lot of similarities to it, but it is definitely a different game. A very different game. An extremely challenging game on top of that, but it was still met with praise. And it was because they did that. When they do that, when game, look at its perfect example. Another one, Guerrilla Games. They were doing freaking Shadowfall is the last one. What is it? Killzone. And those were not bad games, but it was just kind of the same shooter. That's already a genre that's overpopulated with games, you know what I'm saying, of all kinds, first person shooter. And it's like, okay, well, we can continue to try to do something in this world, or we can try to reinvent. And there is what led to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I will agree. And one of the reasons why I haven't even jumped on Horizon Forbidden West is because, there goes another sequel. It's going to be more of the same. It's like, well, and there's no doubt that, the company Sony was going to make a sequel to that, to one of the best selling games in their library. There's no doubt about that. But it's just like, sometimes I feel like we need to see more of those curveballs, because that, I think, is where, what they bring when they challenge themselves to do something different and do it because they want to, not because they're being forced to. That's when you end up having a special product.
I think, yeah, no, I think that the way that the gaming companies see it, a sequel is obviously extremely safe for them because they know, well, if this game sold, already, there's obviously interest. We already have a base. We don't have to start from scratch with concepts or anything. Yeah, you're gonna concept the new things that you might want to add on the sequel, but for the most part, the groundwork is there. You already have your character and a lot of those things are already laid out. Same thing with assets. There's nothing that says you can't start reusing, assets, or maybe assets that were done for the first game, but it wasn't time. You didn't have time to implement them on the first game. You're leaving it for the sequel. I feel like most of the games of this era that are not indie titles, they're built with a franchise in mind. Mm-hmm. And anything that comes out, it doesn't matter if it's new. I mean, look at, we were just talking about Elden Ring. Elden Ring wasn't launched 3 days after the company was already saying, "Oh, the Elden Ring is a franchise." They were already dictating that, hey, we intend to make sequels of this because based on the success of the sales, the anticipation, all the reviews, all of that.
They're set for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Same thing with Witcher. Same thing with Cyberpunk. The case of Cyberpunk, things might have been a curve might have been thrown in the fact that game was has its issues now. Whether or not we will trust a Cyberpunk 2 remains to be seen. But I mean, you already see that CD Projekt Red. It's taking in, it's trying to play it safe now. They're going back to The Witcher. They're not saying we're working on a new different IP. No, The Witcher 4, because we needed a Witcher 4. And nothing.
Do we?
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't make nothing against the Witcher series. They're certainly great, but like we had our story.
We had our complete story too.
It's same thing. BioWare, it's going through the exact same thing. It's like, after a couple of fuck ups, with Anthem and with Andromeda.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Mass Effect. Thank you. What are they doing? Well,
they're going back to Mass Effect.
We're doing Dragon Age again, and we're gonna go to Mass Effect, but the Mass Effect that you love, not the Andromeda. We're not gonna try to continue anything there. No. We're gonna bring Shepard back for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, exactly. Which in turns generally, and this is exactly what frustrated me and you, if I remember correctly, about Star Wars. And I know we're talking gaming here, but there's a point. The point is, at some point when you keep going back to that well, it dries up, and what you're left with is dirt. You know what I mean? And hence Rise of the Skywalker, because we needed to have the Emperor come back. We needed to have the Skywalker be linked to everything, and it was just like, no, you were already heading in the right direction, but sales and I think the movie financially did well, but critically, it was mixed. But it were bold choices, dude. They were doing something different, and saying, let's break away. Literally, that was like the theme of the film. Let's break away, burn it down. You know what I mean? And go somewhere else. And no, they went back, and sure, Rise of Skywalker was another financial hit, but it was probably the worst film
Colossal
in the
disappointment.
entire franchise of the thing, to the point where they're right now not even sure when they're going to do another film, because they're doing all the TV stuff at this point. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? That's what the fear is. The fear is with Witcher 4, you know, Witcher 3 had an excellent story, especially when you include the the DLC, the 2 DLC expansion.
Had a perfect arc.
Huh?
You had a perfect arc.
An excellent arc. Yeah. An excellent arc, dude. When I finished that game, I felt like I have, with the DLCs, I felt like I had gone through everything with Geralt, and I feel like how it ended was the perfect. Okay, this is a perfect place to leave it. And now they're gonna bring it back. And so now bringing it back, you potentially have that Emperor Palpatine moment where it's like, well, wait a minute, you can easily ruin it, because if you it's almost like you're going to force it back. Mass Effect 4, or whatever they call it, with he or she, however you made your shepherd, they spoilers for Mass Effect 3 here, but they died. You know what I mean?
That was the whole point.
It was like that's exactly what. So you're saying that massive moment that was supposed to be so meaningful for folks means nothing now? You see what I'm saying? You're now retroactively ruining other stuff by doing this because
this is exactly the last Terminator movie that came out. The one that was meant to go after, this is after the events of Terminator 2, and like completely fucking like the most minimal aspect of that. The most meaningful day, it just got retconned.
It just got retconned. Completely retconned. It didn't matter. And suddenly, why? Because we have to have another story.
Because we have to have it.
Yeah. And so that's what's going to happen to these major titles. And more, the more it happens, the more I'm just going to be not looking forward to them. You know what I mean? I'm no longer going to be excited for, yes, I'm excited for the Dead Space remake. Okay. Are you going to remake the second one? Or are you going to do something even more asinine and make a sequel that retcons Dead Space 2? You know what I'm saying? And now you've completely thrown a monkey wrench into the world of Dead Space because of, hey, we need to keep the story going. We need to, you see what I'm saying here? And I feel like that's where the it's guys, put all this effort into something new and maybe start it small. And then maybe it can build. I mean, for instance, going back to the EA originals, or whoever, fucking UbiArt, the Ubisoft division that hasn't made shit since the 2 absolute exceptional games they made.
Those games don't make money, so it's all open world games, and
well, I guess that's my issue at this point. It's like I'm kind of done with the. I mean, I've gone through. I mean, there was a long time I told you, and you remember this, where I was like, I'm done with open world. There's just a lot of sandbox and it's a lot of to do about nothing. In the end, I just need the narrative. Just give me the narrative. Where's the next thing to go? And so maybe that's just what it is. Maybe I'm growing outside of of gaming at the moment.
I think the main problem is that a lot of gaming companies, obviously they're not interested on delivering the next story, the amazing story. A few of them are. There are a few studios that are interested on delivering something special when it comes to like a story that is not just about the number of sales, but the vast majority, and I can tell you very especially Ubisoft, it's only interested on the sales portion of it, and quality or creativity be damn. I mean, if we can deliver a Far Cry 6 that plays just like 5, that plays just like 4, that plays just like 3, like literally just like that, let's give them the same. And I mean, in part that's our fault as players, because we should be speaking with our with our wallets, and we should know that the next experience of it, it's gonna be it's gonna be the same. So basically, we are delivering the message that, oh no, okay, I'm fine with this with this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, at the same time, can you blame someone that is that is happy playing a particular experience? I mean, I'm certainly guilty of at least enjoying the Division 2, enjoying what's it called?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed, the last two at the very least. I am at fault for putting in putting money for the Far Cry games, because the Far Cry games are games that I know what they are already. They're, regardless of how they look, regardless of how crazy the story is, it's gonna be a run-of-the-mill shooter gameplay with not very inventive or interesting AI, and a huge, ridiculously expansive world that I'm not gonna have time to or care to explore, and I'm just gonna be forcing myself through the story to justify my purchase, or I'm just gonna stop playing because I'm like, this is not grabbing me in any way whatsoever, and there goes $60, $70, whatever it ends up costing. Yeah. So I understand the reasoning behind behind sequels. They need to exist for the companies to make money. And also, there are a few games that I don't mind playing the next iteration. I just don't want it to be the same. And I feel like when you see a Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, that game was gorgeous when it came out. The original one was, looked amazing. And the second one, I have no doubt that it looked amazing. But it looks too close. It looks too like the game that I played already. And it doesn't matter. At some point, you're gonna realize that I've done this. I love Elden Ring, like with a passion. I think that game is incredible. The thought of Elden Ring 2, you will think that it will have me like foaming at the mouth, but in reality, no, not so much. It'll be cool, in the sense of,
and I will
hey, let me see what they do next. But
as we all will,
yeah, and we'll fucking buy it because, of course, that we're indoctrinated already. What the hell? But am I gonna that's? I'm not gonna be as excited as I remember being for when Elden Ring, was revealed. Hell, when fucking Cyberpunk was right around the corner, I was like excited about it because it was something new. It ended up being terrible, but it was something new. And that's where the dichotomy of this whole thing is. It's difficult. Let me give you one more example, and I'll let you speak in a moment.
No.
But
by all means, bro.
What I did not want a God of War game. I was done. They did what God of War. The first God of War was fantastic. The second God of War, amazing. Third God of War, it was like the perfect closing. It was like, that's it. This is great. This is a trilogy. It's amazing. Close it down. I'm ready for the next character, because I'm starting to get a little sick of Kratos already. But whatever. Then the PSP games started coming out, more Kratos, and then the God of War Ascension was. I did not care to play that to completion at all.
Never even owned it because
me neither.
This is an uninspired sequel. Is what that was.
Exactly. This is an uninspired sequel. This is something that we don't need. It was just made because a focus group, gave it a go, because the higher ups needed to have another God of War sales, chart buster, and what ended up happening, a mediocre piece of garbage that nobody remembers or care about. when they announced a new God of War, I was like, oh, here we fucking go again. Like, no, I don't want it. Like, honestly, you remember, I was like, nope. It's that Kratos is my least, the character I cared the least. He was not an interesting character. He was as interesting of a character as Master Chief was, you know?
Yeah. Very one-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, yeah, exactly. In the case of Kratos, it's like, well, Master Chief had no emotion. But in the case of Kratos, he was like always angry.
Always angry.
Yeah,
angry and yelling.
Angry and yelling, exactly. And fucking, you know, off camera, fucking off camera.
But it was angry fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was angry fucking off camera. Exactly. So violent they wouldn't even put it on camera. No. So God of War, new one. And then I was like, fuck this. And then we saw a trailer of it, the first trailer that I saw, and it wowed us. Why did it wow us? Because even though they were using the same fucking thing, the same, the same Kratos, it was a new take. It was an interesting take. It was something that looked very, very different. I love when they do that. It's almost like alternate fiction again to me. Like how much I love, alternate realities and stuff like that. That's what I felt when I got a reboot of that magnitude. I don't mind those because if you can make it. If you can reimagine something that we love into something else that is like special, I will appreciate that, because that to me it's a new take on an existing formula, and to me that's original. Even though it's derivative is the best word, but it could feel very original. God of War doesn't play like God of War, even at the point where you're kind of meant to feel like you were.
Yeah. And technically the moves were in line with what he did, but it still felt different.
It still felt very different. Yeah. And the whole mood, the whole thing, the story, it might as well have been a different game, but a reinvention of that character to where it makes Kratos a likable character, first of all. Now he's a father figure. But also a relatable character, someone that you can actually, project into his anger doesn't feel like a caricatured anger. It feels like a legitimate mourn for, the loss of his for his other wife. On the new storyline. So. Same thing with Final Fantasy VII Remake. They called it Final Fantasy VII Remake. What bigger warning sign could you have had at that? And I went in the first time they got us out about getting like super, super trippy, misty-eyed and everything. And I was like cautious. I was like, oh, I don't know, because the way I remember Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 7 is not the Nomura way of characters looking all tall and like realistic, and like I don't know how I feel about this guy. It's like I don't want to be the naysayer by myself here in a corner, because then I'm gonna be painted as a fucking maverick or whatever. But I'm not super comfortable with it either. But then look at it. It was actually a reimagining, because it was not even, well, for reasons. But it was an amazing reimagining of that, and one of my favorite games. So I don't stand against sequels. I certainly want the good experiences that I had before to be repeated. What I do stand against is the excessiveness, the milking out the series until you kill them. And all series that you do that, it's just like you said, Maddog, the well will run dry at some point. It doesn't matter. It have happened with everything. Even Call of Duty has its days marked because
It does.
There's only so much.
It does, yeah.
There's only, especially when you're
I mean,
cannibalizing it with another Call of Duty game on the same that you're still supporting.
Yeah, and yeah, which is what they mentioned recently. Yeah. No, I can agree to an extent on that. You know, when they are taking those, because Final Fantasy VII remake was definitely it was a marvel in the way that it was an anomaly almost, because I don't think they can repeat that. I fear for the next one, because I'm just like, okay, now you're taking us down an unpaved path, because it was, clearly they're going, hey, well, it was the same, but we're going to go in a different way. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that they were bold enough to do that, or I can appreciate that they were bold enough to do that. I know at the time that we played it, I was just like a little bit let down, because I was like, oh, so we're not actually getting a remake. We're getting a remake. You know what I mean? So I get it. So I was a little bit bummed out that, but in retrospect, I can definitely say it was an extremely bold move, and it definitely worked. The problem is that that's few and far between. And I feel, then I can just kind of wrap up with this, but I feel that we are starting to see the original stuff hit harder. And I don't know how the big companies are going to do this, because they're always going to want the bangers, right? They're going to want the million unit sellers. Yeah. But I think that critically and in some ways commercially, the gamers are talking. They're saying we want something original. Think back a couple of years ago to the one that was leading the charge throughout the year, and that was Hades, which was an original reimagining of what a roguelike can be. It's like, okay, we're going to do the roguelike, but we're going to do this in such a way you're going to want to repeat the run. You know what I mean? And not only that, it's it's literally sold. It literally said, oh, people just took it and ran with it. First, your normal roguelike guys who fucking love roguelikes of any kind, and people who don't really care for roguelikes go, whoa, this is did it in a certain way. It was like, oh man, this is good. This is really, really, really good. And EA has, I think in some ways has to realize that all those multi-million-dollar projects you have, and the one that takes it at the end of the year in the Game Awards is from your EA originals. It Takes Two.
Yes.
You see, it's like, oh shit, that's the one that stood out. That's the one that people remember because it did something new, something original.
That's not the one that sold, though.
No, it's not the one that sold. No, it's not the one. You're absolutely right. It's not the one that sold.
It's interested in.
True. So I'm hoping that, in closing, that I can get more. This is what makes it difficult sometimes to talk about some of the games that I play, because it's just like I don't know if anyone's even that interested. You know what I mean? It's like because I'm thinking of Lost and Random
to make them feel idiot, to let those out so people know about them.
It is, but I wonder how often it falls on deaf ears. You know what I mean? How often it goes? It just goes. Well, that's some frou-frou shit that Maddog is fucking playing. You know what I mean? And so
quoted on the back of the box, David Santos.
Or at the back of the box. Like I said, I'm playing Lost and Random right now, and it's definitely not a 5 out of 5, but it's original in such a way. I mean, it also pays homage to certain things in a certain way, like I said with the Tim Burton films, that it's just like, man, this should be in everyone's hands. There's no way you wouldn't enjoy this, but how do you do that? How do you get it out there? The only way you do it is it's got to come from the company. They got to put the money in, and they got to put the marketing in.
Yeah.
It's really the only way, and you're right.
Unless
It's
it
not
goes
going to be there.
viral by word of mouth or something.
Unless
But
it does
yeah,
go viral, yeah. Like in Hades,
like the case of Hades, yeah.
that's for example.
Well, Hades had, I mean, it was the next thing from Supergiant Games, so it had some panache already.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of people know
you and I
Supergiant
know
Game.
Supergiant
Yeah.
Games, fairly well. Almost to the point where like I almost named some of the developers.
Yeah.
But how many now mainstream? Not so much.
No, so
Not so
much.
much.
Yeah.
So that's So I still find it a little sad, and it's happening on the movie side as well. You got a bunch of
Yeah.
fucking
Hey, we're getting
remakes
another
and
fire starter. So
oh, dude, that right there almost completely started this conversation. Because I was gonna make it about films, and I said, well, no. And then then the games thing. I was like, okay, well, hey, I can. It just exists everywhere. It's like all these forms of entertainment, and it's just about repeating, lather, rinse, and repeating the same shit. And it's like,
yeah.
no, man, no.
At
That's
some
why
point,
I
we're gonna
like.
get the remake of Star Wars. I mean, you watch. It doesn't
Oh,
have like the
it is
retelling.
definitely gonna. I mean, it's 40
It'll
years.
be in our lifetime. It
Yeah.
will be in our
Oh,
lifetime.
for sure,
Knowing this,
for
yeah.
sure. And then the question there is, who are you gonna piss off? Honestly, I feel like they're waiting for that generation to die off. You know what I mean? Because they realize because right now the Star Wars that they're making is not for us. It's for the newer
right.
generation. You know what I mean? It's for these people who probably haven't seen the original. The ones who are coming in, they're the ones who go,
New
I
blood.
saw
Let's
it.
bring the new blood.
Yeah. I saw the episode 1, 2, 3. Those are to them. Those are great.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, they're not as bad as I recall. They were just disappointments, and
It was
that
just a
hurt
lot
me a
of
little bit.
politics. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it is all over the place, and I hope that they don't move away from it. At least I can say I never thought I'd say this, but I can say this about EA. 3 of their most recent EA originals is It Takes Two, Knockout City, which I heard is actually really good. I haven't played it, but I heard it's actually really good. It was a very original, multiplayer game, and Lost in Random. And I am playing Lost in Random. So I'm like, at least they have that division. Like, I'm more excited about what the next EA original is before I'm excited about what DICE is going to make and what BioWare is going to make. And you know what I'm saying? It's like I want to see this, and I guess I just wish this had a bigger spotlight.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts, sir?
No, I think I think we, that point you brought was like exceptional. Yes, the problem with the new IPs is that they don't share the same spotlight as the titles that have that are already in the psyche, and people know of them already. And the reason why sequels are so successful, even though we criticize and complain about them, is because at the end of the day, that's what we end up buying. If you guys want to support something new, then you got to start getting out of your comfort zone and start experimenting with some titles. I speak a lot about games that I feel comfortable playing and going back into the well, but most of my favorite gaming moments are the ones where I just get out of my comfort zone and discover something that is like new and exciting, and it completely grabs me,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I invite everyone to do that. Certainly not. I'm not saying to do it blindly. I mean, look at reviews and stuff like that. That's what you read. Educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If it sounds like something, something that might interest you, go for it. I will see if there's a demo. I will watch videos, and if it looks interesting, just go at it. You don't have to be stuck to the one game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another awesome episode, the real episode 314. Again, guys, if you haven't already, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. Please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Maddog signing off this week, saying, Bridgerton really isn't that bad, guys. Bridgerton is actually good stuff. I know I'm embarrassed to say it a little bit. Just it just doesn't feel like and I think that's just society, right? There's the machismo of the society where it's like, well, you really shouldn't be watching something like that. But in my head, I'm going, fuck you, this is actually a lot of fun, and kind of endearing, and
Listen.
and by the way, there's sex, so fuck it.
You don't
know
have,
what I mean?
Exactly. There you go. You don't have to worry. At least you get the porn.
Exactly. And I get to watch it with my wife. Who can ask?
And you get to watch it with her. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Please.
I have been known to admit that I've enjoyed Twilight, and there's no porn in there. So
there's no porn in there. But sir, if you enjoy Twilight, I feel like you would enjoy this. And
no doubt. If I sit down and start watching it, I'll probably.
I think you definitely would. There's some quirky characters, and the sex and stuff is tasteful. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's definitely not. I mean, we joked about it, but it's definitely not some skanky shit. You know what I mean? It is. It's
I'll watch tasteful. The tasteful part, and then I'll go on the internet and look for the rule.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, the full version of it. All right. Mr. Davis, take us home, sir.
Oh man. All right. So hear me out. How about Tomb Raider? You're Lara Croft, but Lara Croft is a dude.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've heard of this.
More original than that can get.
I think you're right. We're probably going to be heading into uncharted territory there. So
I think it's a whole new frontier where no man has gone before.
Exactly. Oh my god! All right, guys. We'll see you next week.